Hello.
Hello.
1 second.
One second. Enchantment. Enchantment. Oh, thank God I don't have to look at Greg's face anymore.
You never really had to. You were choosing to do that.
That's true. And he is quite a handsome chap, to be fair. I was just saying that for effect.
Yeah.
I'm just jealous of his chiseled features.
Yes.
Indeedy do. So, how are you, Mikey? You're tired.
Just give me 1 second. Just hang on.
Just let you know, we're not doing the news. I said, well, let's do a retrospective of the year we started the podcast this week, so you don't have to whinge about the news. How about that?
That's fine.
And it's 2008. So have a look on Wikipedia of what games you liked that year and what happened.
I already know from memory. It's fine.
God, you don't even need to look. That's how good you are.
1 sec. Sorry, because the whole stream has changed because of the extra life stuff. So I just need to get it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, extra life.
So just bear with me.
Well, you could do to blow your nose. I'm reckoning as well.
Yep, that's a problem, but
that is a problem.
It's not high up on the list right now.
You sound snotty.
It's not high up on the list of problems I have.
Nope.
Sort it out.
So I'm not going to do that right now.
Sort it. Sort it, you muppet. Extra life. Oh, extra life.
God's sake, Chinny, please hurry.
Yeah,
he's not good at stalling, is he?
No, I'm just gonna keep singing weird stuff.
Singing and.
So, Chinny and his brother played some games together.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was stroking his joystick together. Oh yeah.
All right. So at some point, Robin wants to borrow me from this show and put me on the overseas connection.
No, that's not allowed.
Yes, it is. I can do what I want.
Right, I'll tell you what. That's only allowed if he comes over here.
He can't because he's hosting a show. It's their 500th episode.
There's other people there.
Episode 500 for them.
Well, that's their own fault for fucking doing it on the same night as us. We were on this night first.
Here's the official response from the veteran game.
What is?
Fine, Chinny. Go ahead and do that. Tell them we love them and we congratulate them on their 500th show.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So,
you're welcome.
I'll probably just need to bow out for 1 sec, but apart from that, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Well, literally 1 second.
No, obviously not. So I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Right, let's do this.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch. Hello! Yo, to the veteran gamers. Juju, Jimmy, other fellas will tell you about
your attention, please.
Playing this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu story time and Jimmy's game break. Here comes Stu with the soundbite saving.
I said, I am your father. Put it back on.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Yeah, boy.
My wife.
Do it.
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Then you know I got my nails done, hair done, everything did.
Hello and welcome to episode 461 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yay, 461, and we're almost done. Not really, it's 2.5 hours yet. But anyway, I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
I'm Chinny.
And he's tired.
He's tired.
Life marathon gaming session.
Yeah.
Chinny, how did it go?
Yeah,
it went very well.
Yeah. Did you meet your fundraising goals?
I smashed it.
Yay!
Smashed it again. Tell you what.
Ka-ching. What was your grand total, Wade? Don't tell me. Let me get a drum roll going.
$885.
Yay!
That's pretty good.
The Sick Kids of Wisconsin, thank you. For those who don't know, Chinny always donates the money he raises at Extra Life to Wisconsin hospitals because that's where I live. And
Yeah.
I don't know why. For some reason, the hospitals in the UK don't seem to be in as desperate economic situations as the hospitals in the United States. I don't know why that is.
That's not the truth. No, what happened the first year
Really?
they did it? It isn't.
You
What?
really think that your hospitals are in worse shape than our hospitals?
No, let me finish.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
The first year they did Extra Life, they allowed you to donate to British hospitals.
Okay.
But then for some reason, in consequent years, it was only American hospitals that you were allowed to donate to.
Probably because they realize that your hospitals don't need the money as desperately as our hospitals do.
I don't know, but there you go. That's what
I
happened.
don't know
So
why
you
that
could-
would be the case, but anyway. So,
No,
Chin,
they just
what's
stopped
your
you doing it.
favorite part of the marathon?
I'm eating what? What did you say?
So talk us through your highlights. Never mind one bit. Talk us through the highlights
Well-
of your 24 hours.
Hang on. I'm eating a dairy milk flapjack.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Hang
Is
on.
that to give you energy?
No,
Nom, nom, nom,
'cause I'm fat.
That's
nom,
true.
nom.
You're fat now. Now that you don't need to get in your wedding
Oh.
suit anymore.
Not true.
One of the highlights of Extra Life this year, Duke was actually present for it.
That's right.
What?
It was wild.
So myself, Pete, because I did it all with Pete this year. So myself, Pete, and Jimmy were playing Overcooked, and Duke said, "Hey, I'll jump in with you." Bit of a bad moment because Pete's friend, who I haven't seen for 3 years, by the way, arrived at the house in a blue morph suit.
A what?
Like an all blue morph suit kind of thing.
Why?
I don't know quite why he did
Why
it.
would you do that?
But he did do that. That's exactly what happened. And he turned up and basically just wore this suit and just thought it would be funny to do that.
What, and just hung out?
He had a routine.
He was getting loose with it.
Oh
He had
my
a
God.
he had a routine. He had a dance routine
Yeah, he was cutting a rug.
ready to go. So he wasn't like just turning up. He was
He
you
was
know,
turned up. Ha!
Yeah, he was turning up for what? And
Yeah.
yeah, so that was probably one of the weirdest moments, and it went on for so long that I forgot that it happened. That I forgot that like Duke was there. I
So
forgot.
basically, he just took over the stream, did he? Do
Yeah, he
his
just-
morph
Stream.
routine.
Yeah, I
Chinny
forgot.
was like, oh man, and then after like 2 minutes, he's like, oh wait, is Duke still here?
Is Duke still there? And it's like, yeah, Duke's still there. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm trying to get the video up of the moment that
Yes,
he
I would
came.
like. This must have been not long after I went to bed because you just started playing Overcooked.
Yeah,
when I
so
went
you
to
missed
bed,
you
so-
missed out on the.
And it
I
was
missed all
because
this.
They were all there in the same room playing Overcooked, and I obviously was not. So we thought about getting a Skype call, but then I was like, I don't have Skype installed on my PC because when the phone rings, for some reason it rang on my PC, not the Mac. But I do the podcast through the Mac, so whatever. And then finally, I was just like, dude, just call me on Steam, and he did. And so we were having a good chat, we were having a good time. It's weird. We were doing that level where you're in the hot air balloon, and then the hot air balloon crashes. There it is. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that is just so weird.
So he wore like a big sort of all-in-one blue man suit thing, and yeah, he just came in and did a whole dance routine. I'm not quite sure,
It's a bit freaky, if I'm being honest.
That was very freaky.
and the thing is,
Random dude just turns up at your house.
so this is you know, Marsh is my best mate, right? Marsh
I
is
saw him earlier in the evening.
Marsh is my best mate. Well, Jonah is Pete's best mate. Like Jonah is Pete's Marsh, basically.
Yeah, but Marsh didn't go to those lengths for you, did he?
Marsh would never go to those lengths. And I haven't seen Jonah for like 3 years. So, and he's never been to my house, right?
To be
And
fair,
so
you
the fact
still
that
haven't.
like he came to my house and I couldn't see him, it was really bizarre. I'm like, oh my god, that's Jonah in there, and
Yeah,
what's he doing? Like
Or was
gyrating.
it?
He was. We managed to ask people for a £10 donation for a face reveal, and
yeah.
and we did get one. And
Yeah. So it wasn't just some random bloke that turned up at your house.
no.
That would be
Which would
better.
that would have been well better. Hey, Jonah. No, it's not Jonah.
So the weird thing was that there were people downstairs that didn't. He ran right. He had to get out of his house, go into his car in this suit, drive in this suit, and then go from his car to my house, and he had no idea which one my house was, and he
I
had
hope
to
he
get.
wasn't going up to different doors, being like, "Hey."
No, he had to get Jimmy to find him and say, like, just make sure we go to the right house. And then he ran straight upstairs. And there's people in the living room that he'd never met who had no idea who
So
he was.
I had no idea what the hell was going on.
No, and they were watching the stream on the TV downstairs, and they were like, "Oh my god, is that actually happening upstairs?"
So can I ask, was Pete in on this? Did he know this was about to happen?
No. He had no idea. It was all sort of.
So who arranged all this then? How did he know where to go?
Well, look, Jonah said like, I'll come round and like I'll support you guys and I'll come round and have a look and just have a chat and stuff. So he knew he was coming round.
Yeah.
But he didn't know. He didn't know that he was going to do that.
I've got to say, it's totally awesome. What's written on his arse, by the way? I did see some.
It's just the
lettering
brand of the costumes.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome that some dude in a blue suit just turned up to your extra live stream. It's kind of weird.
So that was one of the highlights. And it was, thank you for sharing that moment with us, Duke. It was very special. That was
great to be there.
That was probably like the weirdest, bizarrest thing. It was great to see my friend Marsh make an appearance this year. And he brought all his kids and stuff, and it was adorable.
Do you know what I love about you doing Extra Life?
Go on.
You tune into other people's streams, and they're just basically sat there playing games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or whatever, and they're just sort of sat in a darkened room playing games. But yours is like a full-on event. It's like
That's true. But to be fair, there were a number of times when I tuned in and it was just Chinny and his brothers sat there, sort of slumped back in the chair. Like, And I look, I don't want to be a jerk because I know you put a lot of hard work into this, and it was a great stream by and large. But the games are often very, very quiet on your stream, Chinny.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, but it's not about the games.
That's on purpose. Because
Yeah.
it's because like. Yeah, it takes away from what's going on in the room, I suppose.
That's
Absolutely.
fine. I just when I tune in and there's nothing going on in the room, then it feels like a very, very quiet stream. So.
Yeah, I could
Can I
probably
just
turn the
say-
volume up on the game maybe if it's a little bit more quiet, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, can I just say I was pleased to see the sexy Velda made an appearance.
Yes, Tara's mom made an appearance. Very brief this year. She sat with me for a longer time last year. She watched me play Mario Odyssey for a lot longer than she did this year. But she had been working all day. She has a tough job. She works in a hospital, and she needed to go home and get some sleep. So that's why.
Yeah, my girlfriend, by the way, can I just mention?
Yeah. Well, you got
yeah.
some competition with Robin. I think Robin might want to
What?
sweep in there. There you go.
God, he gets everywhere.
So on the screen, obviously Marsh came around, and on the screen here is Marsh's son, who's obsessed with his Nintendo Switch, right? So I said to him, "What's your favorite game on the Switch?" He said Mario Kart, and I said, "I'll show you the original Mario Kart. Do you want to see that?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he could not control this game. He kept on moving the controller as if it was a motion
like a steering
controls.
wheel.
Yeah, like he just couldn't do it.
Brilliant.
He's only 4 though, but he's quite a bright 4. Do you know what I mean? He's quite switched on.
These kids they're all switched on these days, aren't they?
He's very, very good for a 4-year-old, but he is. He's such a funny lad. And his other lad, Josh, who's like, he's not even 2. I don't think. He was downstairs keeping everybody entertained. So like, yeah, it's like you're right, Stuart. Like, and you know, it's kind of like an event in the house now. Extra Life, you know, we get people round and
It's like a party, man.
It is basically a party, and yeah, and like.
Let me ask. I'm assuming people downstairs were getting inebriated. Were they getting a bit drunk, a bit tipsy?
Tara had a few drinks, and that's probably, you know, my mum and dad were downstairs. My dad made an appearance again
Right.
this year. I'm not quite sure where his appearance was, he wasn't on for long, but he certainly made an appearance. But he, yeah, you know, he just wanted to support and everything. But yeah, it's just an event. I suppose the other highlights were let's see. Oh,
So,
there's
let me
Velda.
ask you-
Velda's on the screen.
It's
She's
Velda,
actually
sir. It's
yeah.
Velda.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a quick question. So, apart from yourself and Pete, did anybody else stay up for the full 24 hours, or was it just you two guys?
No. So this year, Jimmy played a bigger part in the stream this year. So Jimmy's my nephew, and bless him, he wanted to come round and stop, and he wanted to stay up for most of it. And I said, like, you can't stay up for most of it because your mom's gonna kill me, right? Because you got school Monday. But he had about 4 or 5 hours sleep in the end. But no, he was solid, Jimmy. You know what I mean? Jimmy was good because he was reading out donations and helping out and grabbing things for us and stuff. So Jimmy, it was wicked. And I think next year, Pete is gonna do it with Jimmy. Extra life.
Wow.
So he's gonna do, because Pete's gonna get in his own house at the moment. He's in the sort of mix of that. But I think he's gonna actually do the extra life with Jimmy next year.
Nice.
As a thing. So at his house. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that we do it at separate times, so I can support Pete at his, and he can support me at mine. And we can make it a bit of a thing.
So let me ask you another question now. You know, as in your grand joint total.
Yes.
Yeah, is the sponsored swim money within that, or is that to be added?
I don't
yet?
know. I don't know about that, to be honest. I have no idea. Because the grand total, because Pete raised about 400, I raised about 800, so the grand total's, I don't know. Yeah.
It's about $1,200, $1,300.
Yeah, something like that. If you double both of them.
Which is a really good amount of money between the two of you. It's a good substantial cash amount, isn't it? Which is great.
It's good. And Pete's done great for his first year. His goal was 100. And I told him to man up, because your goal has to sting, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
when you put your goal, when you type your goal in for Extra Life,
Low.
it has to hurt, right? You have to kind of type it in and go, man, that's tricky. So every time I put mine in, mine's like 500. And I always feel like it's, so next year I think I'm going to have to up it, because
maybe you're gonna have to go 800 next year.
I think no. What's the rule?
Are you gonna go 1,000?
What's the rule?
I don't know. What is the rule?
It's got a sting.
1,000 then. 1,000.
1,000 stings, right? 500
Wow.
doesn't sting anymore.
Get ya.
I've got to
Get
hit
ya,
1,000,
get ya.
right?
Eh,
So and hey, if I don't hit it, I don't hit it, right? It's not a massive deal, no. But like you gotta try these things. You gotta set big fat goals, right? So Pete upped his goal to 200, smashed that, and then he says, "Oh, let's up it to 300." I says, "Pete, you're rubbish, right? Up it to 400. It's got a sting," and he killed it. Killed 400.
It did.
So
It did.
yeah, it's just a lesson in life.
What we should say a little bit about is what everybody else did, because obviously it weren't just you two that was doing it for the VG Hub team.
Well,
Yeah,
they've got their own fucking show, Stu.
No, I was meaning the
yeah,
grand
suck it,
total.
other people.
The grand,
No, yeah,
the grand
absolutely.
team total.
No, I'm just joking. Right, yeah. So the team total.
Wait, whoa, drum roll.
So the team total so far is 5,255.
Yay! Thank you, everybody. You rock.
The goal is 5,800. Again, with the team goal next year, I think it's got to sting. I think it's got to be 6, 7, 8 grand. I really do.
Yeah, but then it's stung this year and you didn't quite get there. So
Bongo.
Yeah, but you pushed yourself to get there, and you got a lot closer.
oh, there's
Bongo,
other stuff to add, isn't there?
Mark, and Greg are still not done theirs.
Wow. Well, there
Have
you
they
go.
not?
No.
I didn't realise that.
So
They doing theirs.
the Bongo's doing it closer to Christmas because he just haven't got time right now. Greg's doing
There was
his.
an option when you do it.
Say again.
I didn't realize there was an option which weekend you do it.
Well, last year I did it. I did it the weekend after.
Yeah, I remember that. I guess.
So it just didn't work out. But yeah. So in a nutshell, it doesn't quite matter when you what weekend you do it. So yeah, you know, it's not over. So we're gonna hit that target pretty easily.
Yeah, and also let's ask you about your little auction. How did that go?
So the auction went very well. There was a bit of a bidding war between Empower, who we met at EGX this year, Stu, and Bongo. Bongo got involved again, and I said to Bongo, like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "No, I want the
Buy one if you want,
yeah." But he said he wanted the Raspberry. He wanted the retro stuff.
right?
And Bongo won.
Did he? So what was it? What was the total?
The total was 170.
Wow, that's pretty
Which-
good. So that's still got to be added, I guess.
No, that's in.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
but
okay.
but Bongo added 200. He just put 200 in.
Wow.
So he topped it
there
up
you
to
go.
200. But yeah, Matt wanted it, I think, and he just got a bit too rich for him in the end. Just got a bit too rich for him. So yeah, but everybody has been great support. Or maybe I should talk about the games that I played. That would be
Yeah,
a good
let's
thing.
talk about what you played throughout the evening.
I mean,
and
this is
morning.
might as well go ahead and get into this.
Yeah,
'cause
get it in.
Play it.
Where are you going? Story comes over.
Yeah, so we started it off with Mario World, right? Mario World was always going to be a great starting point for me and Pete because Mario World is basically a lot of our childhood. You know, when I think about playing games when I'm younger with my brother, that's what Extra Life that's what it was all about, playing it with my brother. I think of Mario World. And we finished it. We clocked it in about 5 hours. I did predict about 5 hours, and we did it in 5 hours. And Pete just did the special road stuff, so the harder levels. So I basically clocked the game while he was stuck on about 3 levels for him, because they're quite tricky levels, the one that he's doing. Yeah, so we did that. That took us through to the first 5 hours. And then after that, we played FIFA. We played FIFA 19. We wanted to do a bit of a palate cleanser. Do you know what I mean? We just wanted something a little bit like, okay, Mario was quite intense and crazy. So we wanted a bit of a palate cleanser. We wanted something just to sort of, you know, switch our brains off. So we played some FIFA. And I have to say, compared to FIFA 18, Stu, this is amazing. I mean, FIFA 18 is nothing compared to this one.
No idea.
No, nor do I. I'm just trying to
I
wind you
remember
up.
tuning in at one point. You were like, "How does this even work? We can't get the game set."
Yeah,
up."
no, that's true. Like, I was just joking there, Stu, because I have no idea what the comparison is.
I have no idea.
So the thing is, it was really confusing when we started FIFA because I had no idea how to just create a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to start a game. Like, there was League, and there was the cards thing, and then there was stuff, and it remembered that my team was Wolves and all this sort of stuff. I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. Like, start your career. There was the single player campaign. I'm like, what is
So if
going
you were playing as Wolves, who did Pete play as then?
So, like, Pete's friend was watching the stream, and Pete's friend is a big Villa fan. So
Okay.
Pete said, I'm going to play as Villa, and I asked the chat who I should play with, and somebody says, well, Wolves, duh, because you're from Wolves. So, yeah, that was a no-brainer there. And I mean, just to fill you in, Duke, right? Aston Villa have always been in the top division, the Premiership, right, in football, until like last year or something, or 2 years ago.
I thought you was going to say until last night.
No, and then they dropped down, and it was a really big deal for Villa.
I see.
And Wolves are a bit of a yo-yo team. Do you know what I mean? They go up and down a lot, but at the moment they're on the up, and they're really doing well. So the fact that Wolves are better than Aston Villa is a bit of a weird situation at the moment. It's very unusual for them to be higher in a division. So anyway,
It's like Simpsons. You're talking about a yo-yo team. It's just
Sure,
like-
Stu, we're trying to find out if this was the case last night.
Water. Yes, Nelson.
Did they have any yo-yos?
No, they did not have yo-yos. When they landed at Plymouth Rock, they were greeted by the friendly Wampanoag Indians.
Did the Indians have yo-yos?
No, they did not have yo-yos.
So-
It's quite funny.
but I beat Pete. Like, I absolutely slaughtered him at FIFA.
Yeah, so Wolves are still the better team, then, is what you're saying.
Oh, of course, of course. So then, after FIFA, we decided to play some Portal 2.
Can I ask, has Pete played this game before?
He's played Portal 1.
Okay.
Interesting.
So we played Portal 2, and I have to say it didn't go amazingly well.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Because we was using your game save. Stu.
Whose game save?
Yours.
Mine? How are you using my game
I
save?
don't know.
I have no clue how that's even possible.
So I loaded it up.
Because I've never played co-op with you.
Exactly. Right. I loaded up Portal 2 on Steam because we couldn't get it. I had it ready and installed on the Xbox, right? But I couldn't bloody download. It was very complicated, right? And I went, let's just play it on the PC. Okay, fine. So we went and played it on the PC. Then I opened it and I was like, that's weird. It kind of just jumped us in like pretty quickly. I was like, that's strange. And then I realised that a lot of the levels had been unlocked and done.
Well, I've done all of them, so they're all unlocked.
So I was like, I think this is Stu's save.
How's that possible? That's
Well,
weird.
you think about it. I share an account with you, so I probably share all your game saves with you.
That's weird.
I still wouldn't think that'd be possible.
I
because
didn't
surely it
think
doesn't-
that,
It
but
seems
then I
like you ought to
played
be-
the game, and that's what happened.
It seems like you ought to be able to say, like, start a new save file. For
That-
Let me
and then
ask you a
and then I thought,
question.
okay, yeah, there must be some sort of like start a new save or a different slot, and I was like,
Can I ask you a question? Well, can I just stop you there for one quick second? When you originally played Portal 2, was it on your Xbox or the PS3?
it was on my 360.
All right, okay, that's fine. Because if you played it on the PS3, it carries over your save to the Steam account, so that was a
I'm
possibility.
aware
I
of
guess.
that, which is why I
Alright,
already
okay,
concluded
okay.
that, and I have concluded that it was your save.
Okay, I've still no idea. how
I
that's
know. I
possible,
don't
but there
know.
you
I'm
go.
not saying I know why. I'm saying that's probably what it was. So I said to
Yeah.
Pete, but the thing is because you can sort of just go through the levels anyway. It's not
Yeah,
quite
it
the
makes
same.
no difference.
Not
It
massive
don't make any
difference
odds.
now. So we went through it, and I was having some like controller issues, and it turned out to be the lead. So the thing is about Extra Life, right? I tested the stream this year. I really did, right? People were coming into the chat and they were saying, "Oh, you didn't test it. Oh, typical Mike." And I spent 3 hours, like for 2 nights, testing the stream.
Yeah, well, I saw all the testings.
Right, and things still go wrong, and things don't connect, and things, you know what I mean? Like, and then like you plug the controller in. You expect the controllers to work. You know what I mean? You plug them in, and like it turned out that the controller wasn't working, and it was really pissing me off. And you've got all these people in the house coming in, coming out, and you got people watching, and then you got even without all those factors, it's annoying when technology doesn't work. So imagine.
That's the thing that drives me crazy. The
Imagine, okay, Duke. Imagine technology not working, and you've got 6 people in your house. 4 of those you've never seen.
Hey, all you people.
4 of those you haven't seen for like 3 months. All right.
So glad you're here, but I really wish you weren't here right
Yeah,
now.
and then you've got like 20 people watching you live, and
Oh, the pressure.
it's
Who's
just
this blue dude?
exactly. It's really weird.
Who's this blue dude?
So at this point, when I was
Sleep for 24 hours too. That's the other thing.
and you're losing sleep, and so you're getting tired, right? So
Yeah, perfect storm for crankiness.
Exactly.
I'm amazed you aren't cranky right now.
so people go, "Oh God, Mike, you're getting a bit short." I'm like, "Yeah, I am fucking getting short."
Fuck you. I'm a little short. You're lucky I haven't stabbed anybody yet.
Yeah, so that's the case. And the thing is, Pete's just sitting there and he ain't worrying about any of this shit. Do you know what I mean? He's just sitting there going, well, I know Mike's worrying about all this. I ain't gonna fucking worry. I'm just
It's
sitting
not
there.
my problem.
Yeah, and then he's like, Mike, why are you getting arsey about it? I'm like, because I'm fucking running everything.
Other with you.
But anyway, we got over it. And the thing is, right, my brother wasn't really... I think he liked Portal 2. I think he was into it. But I think he just got a bit bored. And that's the difference between playing with somebody an Extra Life, and then I'm a little bit more resistant to boredom, I think, than Pete is. Like, I don't get bored as quickly as Pete. That's what I felt during this Extra Life, because he's like, nah, don't want to play that, nah. And so, he kind of, like, I think he liked Portal 2. Like, I'm not saying he didn't like it, but he kind of, like, got fed up with the pace of it, and he wanted something a little bit different. So,
Yeah.
we moved on. I'm sorry if I'm dragging this out, but hey.
No, it's all right. You talk as much as you like. It doesn't matter.
So we moved on to And also, Portal 2 is a really hard game to play when you've got people that you haven't seen
Yeah,
for 3
you
months
don't
sitting
need
next to you.
distractions to figure
Yeah,
it out.
it's really,
And the
really
good,
good.
the
Game
good
for like
thing,
2 in the morning when no one's around.
Yeah.
the good thing about Portal 2 is though, when I played it, really you forget a lot of the solutions. So you still, it's almost like you're like,
I was telling my students that I had that same experience when I played Portal 2, the regular single player thing. Like, I couldn't believe I've done it like 5 times, and still I was like, how the hell do you do this puzzle?
Yeah.
yeah, you forget, and it's great for that because you can play it again. It's brilliant.
So the Boss Wave, Chris MJW said that they would donate if we played Streets of Rage 2. So we played Streets of Rage 2 next. And that was really cool. I really enjoyed playing Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah, I must admit, right, you forget how good a game that was.
It's a great game. It holds up
Stooges,
very, very well.
You forget your ATM pin code. You forget your wife's name. You forget where your foot is.
You forget where you're going with this story.
Yeah, exactly. All this joke.
So then we played a bit of Street Fighter 2 because, you know, it's Street Fighter.
Hadouken!
We didn't play it for as long as I thought we would. Then we played some Overcooked 2.
Yeah, but that's only because you kept beating Pete and then he got pissed off because you were beating him and went, let's play something else.
I didn't beat him at Street Fighter.
Oh, did you? Was he beating
No.
you?
He beats me at Street Fighter, yeah.
Oh, well, that was maybe you then that was going, let's play something else.
No, I never did that. I thought we played Street Fighter longer than that. So then we played some Overcooked 2, and again, I think my brother enjoyed it, but then I think he got a bit bored.
And then the blue man turned
Then
up.
the blue man turned up, and that sort of threw everything out. And then we played a game that I've never played, which is...
What is that noise, Duke? What are you doing in the
It's
background?
me, it's me.
Oh, it's you. Oh, we'll let Duke off.
I got it,
apologize.
but that was a WhatsApp from Duke saying, "Where are you?" So I'm guessing that was from a while ago.
That crackling isn't me either. That's on the line.
No, that's
interference.
This
So,
noise isn't me either. Whatever it's about to be.
so we played.
That wasn't me.
So we played Moonwalker.
Oh, the Michael Jackson thing.
Yeah,
Is it as bad as I'd expect it to be?
it's very, very good.
Get
What game is
lost.
this?
Moonwalker.
Oh, this is a classic back in the day. Is this
I
the
never-
same arcade one?
Yes, it is the arcade.
Yeah.
It's the, it's
It's
the
beautiful.
it's a main
Yeah.
arcade game.
I mean, say what you want about Michael Jackson, and we can say plenty, but that was a good video game.
I mean, yes, he had sex with children, but this is a very good video game.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Actually, to be fair, he'll have had nothing to do with that. Apart from
I
the
don't.
license.
I think you're wrong. Because Michael
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah.
loved video games.
Did he? I
He
didn't know
loved them.
Did he?
Loved them.
Mm.
You think about
I'm
it.
not convinced.
Are you? So hold on. You
He
are
went,
not.
pay me millions of dollars,
Shh.
and you can use my name.
Right. You are not convinced that the man who had a house called like fucking Netherland, right? That was all about children's roller coasters and cool shit. That was very childish. That he wasn't into video games. Is that what you're asking me
Well,
right
he
now?
might be, but yeah, he was
Shut
too busy
up.
to be fannying around with video games.
He
went,
loved video
"Make a
games.
game,
He
give
loved
some
them.
cash."
You know, he was a massive fan of video games. Anyway, yeah. So I never played Moonwalker before, but Pete and Jonah said, "Oh, Moonwalker's a classic. They used to play it in the
I love
arcade."
the fact, right? There's a bit in the game where they do a dance as a special move.
Yeah.
And
the other good-
in the Michael Jackson video game, what else are you gonna do?
I know, I love it
Shoot
though.
people
It's
with
good,
big
it looks
machine
good.
guns.
The other good thing about Michael Jackson, the Moonwalker game, is that it's got a banging soundtrack. So that's one good thing. And then for some reason,
Apparently,
Pete.
according to the Edmonton Journal, when money got tight late in his life, he decided to auction off his massive collection of over 100 arcade machines, including the
Ah.
X-Men cabinet.
All right, take it back. I take it back.
Maybe you
he's
should
got some
listen to
involvement.
me, Stu.
Yeah,
Maybe,
really.
yeah. Sure.
Right. So then Pete had a bit of a break, and then me and Jimmy played a game called Pang, which I haven't played for a long, long
Pang,
time.
Super Pang. That's a great game.
Pang
That's where you
is a good-
shoot upward at the bubbles.
That's correct. And
I
then
love it.
another classic game that me and Pete played back in the day was Contra 3, or in the UK it was called
It's just like a trip down memory lane. This, isn't it?
Super Probotector for the new Super Nintendo. And then for the next 5 hours, me and Pete played Gears of War 1 Remastered, like the Ultimate Edition.
Nice.
So again, more nostalgia. Gears of War 1 is a really big sort of nostalgia trip for me and Pete. Because you think about it, Gears of War, 2006. So it's 12 years ago now.
Do you know what though? It still looks great.
Well, this is the remastered version, so this one would look.
Yeah,
a
but
little
even
bit.
so, still looks great.
So we played that and we finished it. We finished Gears of War 1. It took us. There's an extra level that comes with the Ultimate version. Like there was like a DLC for Gears of War 1.
Yeah, it was one of those giant things, wasn't
The
it?
Brumac,
Okay.
yeah,
The
you have to
Brumac.
fight a Brumac. So there's Tara. Tara doesn't really sit in it very much this year. She was so busy running around everywhere doing everything else. So we played Gears of War for a long, long time, and then I think this is the section where Pete really started to go. I think I'm done. Right, this is kind of like the moment where Pete was like, I just want to see this to the end. I'm not really interested in what I play anymore. Because after Gears of War 1, he was kind
Well, I was
of.
going to say, when I got up and you were still playing this, when I popped in before I went to work, you were still playing Gears. So there wasn't that long left after that.
There was about 4 hours left when we finished Gears.
Right.
Which doesn't sound like a long time when you're talking about 24 hours. Bongo's in the chat. Subu's in the chat. Hi, everyone. But when you've just been going for 20 hours, 4 hours feels like a long time left.
Well, even without that, like, I mean, I'll give you people an idea. People who are listening, I'm going to put a 4-hour pause in the recording starting here. And when we come back, you'll realize that was a long break.
Yeah, 4 hours is a long
Most
time.
people-
It is a long time.
Listeners, see?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Most
a
of
long
them just
time
probably
now,
skipped
4
ahead.
hours.
Yeah, so
No,
then
listen to the whole 4 hours of silence.
because
It was art.
at the start of the stream and stuff, I said to Pete, we should play snooker. We should play snooker. And he went, no, snooker's crap. We shouldn't play snooker. It's too slow. And then by the end of Gears of War 1, Pete was like, let's put snooker on. So
Well,
we
and
played.
especially because Gears of War is a very mentally taxing game.
Ages.
Yeah,
There's a lot to keep track of in Gears of War, whereas with snooker you can take a break, slow it down,
you can check your phone. You can accidentally fall
stare at the
asleep.
balls,
Yeah, that kind of
play
stuff.
with the balls.
I've got to say, at this point, Chidi, you are looking very tired.
Yeah, I am. And then we
Your eyes are like, whoa.
then we played Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a good game.
No, it's not.
It is.
really, you didn't like it?
I loved it.
Pete didn't like it. I don't think. Bear in mind, you're talking to a man who's been playing games for 21 hours, with a man
Yeah.
who doesn't really feel like playing the game that you're playing right now. So
I can see this not being your type of thing if you're not in the mood for it.
so we wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't massively feeling it. I thought it was quite good and well made, but Pete.
The thing is, though, it's quite a frantic game to be playing at the end of your stint, isn't it?
That's
Really?
Pete definitely wasn't feeling it. Do you know what I mean? He definitely wasn't feeling it. So we sort of nipped that back in the bud, and guess what? We went back to snooker, and we played a little bit of Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. Pete didn't really like this. So there's a common theme at the end. Pete just kind of got a bit like, no, don't like this,
Yeah,
don't
it's
like this,
Don't like this.
don't like this, don't like this, don't like no.
Don't like it.
So we went back to snooker, and I said, look, we can't play snooker for 2 hours. Like, it's just going to torture us. It's too slow of a game. So, because he kept on teasing PUBG, and I said, I tell you what, why don't we just have a turn each PUBG, right? And he seemed to quite like that idea. So that's what we did. So the last couple of hours, we played PUBG, a turn each. Neither one of us got chicken dinner, but Pete liked that because then
How close did you get?
I can't even remember. It was pretty dire, to be fair.
It's a blur. It's a blur at that point.
I think the very, very last match that I had, I was trying to die. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, because the time had expired.
Uh-huh.
I had 2 minutes left. I was hiding in a bush.
So different than what it used to look like.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, but yeah, it's. I was trying to die because it was over, and this is very much the moment. So there was 35 left when I died in PUBG, roughly. Yeah. So that's Extra Life. That's what we played. That's what we did. It was good fun.
Yay.
It was great doing it with.
Dude, and it's all for a good cause.
It was great doing it with
another
Pete.
great year, really. You've done
Yeah,
really well.
it was-
Again, good amount of money raised.
It was good fun
For the
doing it with
kids.
Pete. Yeah, it was good. It was a good laugh. Yeah, and for anybody that fancies doing it next year, I recommend doing it. It's just the last leg. Do you know what I mean? It's just that last 2 hours, and you just feel like you want to die, and the idea of sleep just is so nice, and yeah, it's a tough. Last 2 hours, last 4 hours, it's tough. It gets really, really tricky around that area.
So who did you have watching in the last bit? Do you have any Australians popping in?
The Humper came in, and he was watching, and he's Australian, and he said, I'm currently outside in the sun, drinking beer, watching you, and it was like
Weird.
5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, whoa. So that was interesting, and yeah, we had a few. Like this is the rhythm of the viewers basically. So people jump on at the start, and then it gains a bit more momentum, and then there's loads of people watching and stuff, and then the evening it's really exciting, and then about 1, 2 o'clock everybody disappears. All right, and the quiet time is really difficult. Few people pop in. And then when just about 2 hours before or an hour before you're going to finish, the chat fills up again, and everybody comes in to check you out to see how you're getting on. So that's the rhythm of it.
Can I just ask then, last final question before we move on?
Yeah.
Easier or harder with Pete at your side?
It felt a bit easier, I think. It's easier in the sense that you've got somebody to talk to all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like you've always got someone there to chat to. And you're always like talking, take your mind off it.
Keep you awake.
Yeah, but it's harder in the sense that you can't just play what you want, because I would have carried on playing Lara Croft, or you know what I mean. I would have done that.
You have to compromise a little bit.
You have to compromise a bit, and you have to go. Or I would have carried on playing Portal 2, and Pete was like, "No, let's move on," because we didn't finish Streets of Rage or Contra 3. And I would have started it again and finished it. Whereas Pete's like, no, I'm bored of this now. Let's move on. I have a bit more of a completionist. Pete is quite a completionist, but I think for the stream, he was just not interested in finishing it. So he was just like, no, I'm done with this. I want to move on. So you have to compromise a bit more. So you don't get to play what you want. If I'd have done Extra Life on my own this year, I would have played Red Dead 2 non-stop. That's what I would have done.
Literally just played 24 hours of Red Dead.
Yeah, I would have done what Richard Webster did and just play Red Dead constantly. Nothing else. Yeah, and I even joked saying like I might just switch Red Dead on and after the 24 hours and just have a quick game. No, so it gets tricky.
So I said that was the final question, but I've got one more final question. Sleep, how much have you had?
I've had about 6 hours sleep. I went to bed pretty much straight away after that, and I woke up and I was really confused because Jimmy was in the house when I fell asleep. I said to Jimmy, I'm going to bed now, so when you leave, I'll catch you later. And he went, yeah, bye. And when I woke up, I could hear Tara talking to somebody. I was like, Jimmy can't still be here. That's ridiculous. Like, there's no way Jimmy's still here. He needs to go home. He's got school tomorrow. But Tara's talking. I was like, who? And I could hear they were young. I was like, who is that? And it was Keisha, our other niece. And I was like, oh, right. That just sort of freaked me out a little bit. And I was really, really confused for about a couple of minutes. But no, it's all fine. But yeah, I'll go into it at the end of the show. But a massive thank you. Even if you came in and chatted to me, or you just watched it or spread the love. A few people have been spreading the love on Facebook and Instagram, or they came in and chatted to me, and especially to the donators, right? Massive, massive thank you. It's so nice. And I said it before and I'll say it again, right? We do this show for free. We do this show for nothing. All we use is our time. And people often say like, oh, how can I give back? I just want to give back. And this is how you give back. So we're going to keep doing this every year. And it's not just to the Veteran Game, it's to the whole VG Hub, to the whole crew. And it's just yeah, this is how you give back, is by donating the money or getting involved. You know, you don't have to just donate to me, or just get involved. You know, spread the love, get into the chat. It's all good. So this is me finishing. You can see it finishing now on the screen. It's all over. But yeah, thank you so much to everybody that took part and everybody that did it themselves. Okay, that's the end of the Extra Life talk.
Yeah,
It's
there you
done.
go. A massive well done to you as well, and Pete, for putting all,
Yeah.
and your family and friends and everyone who helped you out over the
That's
night,
right.
and Blue Man who just turned up
Yeah.
randomly. And
I want to
all that
say,
kind of
I want
stuff.
to say, the unsung hero of Extra Life is Tara.
Yeah, she is.
Tara,
Let's sing her praises. Then she won't be unsung.
Tara, right? She was running around. She was cooking. She was baking. She baked these cool, nice shortbread biscuits. My brother has
Nice.
this like kind of diet thing problem at the moment, so he made sure that like the thing that he was making like food for him. He had like chicken
So
skewers.
she gave him loads of wheat then, did she?
Yes, and you know, just basically just looking after everybody, dealing with people coming into the house, hosting everybody. Tara's the unsung hero of the whole thing.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
she's a sung hero. I'm gonna play this for her, and some people out there are gonna love this. Ah, get it? It's Helmet Song Unsung.
No idea about that reference, but
It's a
we'll move
great
on.
song.
The whole point, it's not a song, is it?
It is a song. What are you talking about? It's a
Well,
good
where's the
song.
singing?
Okay, after all that
Okay.
nice things that I
Let
said,
me get to the singing.
after all
fine.
these nice things that I said, that was a shit way to end that.
It was terrible. Terrible. Duke,
Here
you
comes the
sacked.
singing.
Your contribution left unnoticed.
Man, I saw them live. They were awesome.
Brilliant.
But
Right.
that was a really good album. Betty was okay, and then it just went downhill from there.
Look, I have actually got some games to talk about, Duke. Rather
Look,
than listen
oh,
to
I'm
you
sorry. Am I
playing
cutting-
random goddamn sound bites.
No, you don't have anything to talk about.
I've
What
got
is
one
it?
game.
Okay,
One
we'll talk
game.
about your one game.
So, as you know, right, Red Dead 2 came out, and everybody's playing the shit out of Red Dead 2.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Why would you
Exactly.
play anything else?
I got that game and went, I need to finish Spider-Man, so I suppose I should do that.
Swing it through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. So I popped that back in
Yeah.
and took Red Dead 2 out. Reluctantly, I have to say. It came out. I unslid it and slid the Spider-Man disc back in my PS4. And it didn't take me long to finish, to be honest. It took me probably about maybe 2 hours, maybe. Hour and a half, couple of hours. It wasn't crazy amounts of time. This is what I've got to say about Spider-Man. When you first boot up that game for the very first time, right, and you swing through the city,
Like your neighborhood Spider-Man.
it's like the best hamburger you ever had. Would
That's
you
an
agree,
odd
Chinny?
comparison.
No.
Would
No?
you agree that playing Spider-Man is like eating a hamburger?
It is. It's like the best hamburger you ever had, like the best tasty hamburger because it's so good, right?
So weird.
But the problem you've got is, by the time I got to the end of the game, I'd eaten too many hamburgers. So I wasn't so keen on the hamburgers anymore. Because I feel like there's just too much shit, man. They're too Ubisoft. There's too many fucking icons on the map at the end of the game. They're everywhere.
You don't have to do all of them.
I
do
know
you?
I don't. But it just annoyed me that there's so many of the bloody things. And like,
Fair enough.
every single Siege thing is the same with a different character skin. And I'm like, as much as I like the game, and look, I know I'm dissing on it a bit, but I did enjoy the game. But again, I just found the boss fights weren't really boss fights. They were, but they weren't really that challenging at all. They were kind of like, and they were all of a very similar mechanic. So there wasn't like any variation in how you fought the bosses. They all seem to work in a very, very similar way, and then have like a bit of a quick time event.
I didn't really.
And then
That
do it
didn't
again.
really bother me that much, though.
No, it doesn't bother me,
Well,
but
it should have,
doesn't-
Chinny.
It just felt like an illusion of a boss fight. You know, back in the day, you had a boss fight.
You want your boss fights to be varied and
Yeah. Not necessarily complicated, but varied, yeah. To each one's different.
Okay.
Whereas
Just to let you know,
all
I have to
felt
make an
very
announcement.
similar.
I have to make an announcement.
You do?
I'm going
What,
to
fucking
go to
right
the.
in the middle of me getting into it.
Yeah, I have to go to the Overseas Connection now.
What?
Right, but just stay.
Have
Look,
fun, Chinny.
I don't have
You'll
to end the call. You're still live on stream. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, have fun.
Just-
Tell them we
Yeah,
said hey.
yeah, just
I'll be back
walk
in
out
5
halfway
minutes.
through. Right.
Right.
Well, we're timing you, man.
All right.
No, we're not timing him. Go
All right.
ahead. Keep talking.
Timing him. All right, off you go. Has he gone? Yeah, I
It
guess
doesn't
so.
matter. Talk about
All
Spider-Man.
right. Whatever. So yeah, as much as I love the game, and I did love the game in some respects, I just felt there was too much busy work, like Chinny said, and not like you said, not that you have to do it, but if you want to upgrade your suits and you want to upgrade your powers and all that kind of stuff, you kind of have to do the busy work.
I hear you. I hear you.
You know, to do it. And that I just upgraded enough to get through to the end of the game.
Right.
If you know what I mean. I just sort of went, you know what? I'm
You
just
did exactly what you had to and no more.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you what, there's a hell of a lot of icons still on the map in Spider-Man, and I ain't never going back to play.
So let me ask you this. Would you rather have a game with fewer things to do in it?
Yes.
Even though they're mostly optional?
You see, one of my favorite games ever is Mafia 2. And
Yeah.
Mafia 2 had no busy work.
Well, it had things you could do, but they were kind of pointless.
Oh, and very minimal, like collecting the playing cards or whatever, or the dirty magazines or whatever. There was very little. There was no real side missions. There was no real busy work. And people complained about that. But for me, it was perfect because you had this really cool world or game world to be in, but it really was just about the story and the story missions. And there was nothing else besides that.
It's a matter of personal preference, right? Some people want value for money. Some people want to spend a lot of time in that open world. But for many of us, no, I hear you. You know, less is more. Because a lot of times when you cram all that stuff in, it ends up being busy work. It ends up being much of a muchness, and it's not really different or exciting. You know, you're collecting either posters or backpacks or sea chanties or whatever, but it's all the same basic crap. You have to figure out how to get to this high spot.
Yeah, and let's be honest. You know, I want to be more engaged playing a video game. I don't want
story, especially, and the
I
story.
don't want mind-numbing things to do just for the sake of it.
So, what about like Mass Effect? Does that drive you nuts too when you have all those different side missions in that?
Not as much, because I think a lot of those side missions in Mass Effect are kind of in the background.
Yeah.
Whereas with something like Spider-Man or like Assassin's Creed or all those types of games, as soon as you bring the map up, they are everywhere.
Right.
You know, everywhere you look, there's an icon for something. And I think what's interesting with Spider-Man is it starts off with not very much on the map, and as you go through the game, it keeps just adding stuff.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So you can unlock other things. So it kind of, when you get to your first suit upgrade, it'll unlock some other mission that you can do so that you can get the tokens you need to unlock that particular thing.
Right.
And it introduces these at intervals throughout the game, but by the end, unless you've been doing them, the map is just covered in stuff.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's not that offensive to me because, like you said, you don't have to do those things, but it's just, I don't know. I just feel like,
is it because you feel like you're missing out on a lot of the game even though you're done with it?
yeah, that's part of it, because they put all this stuff in there for you to do. But part of me is just like, I really don't care about any of it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, all I want is a really cool world with a really cool story and really cool characters. You know, can I just deliver that? That'd be fine.
That's the thing, is that I think a lot of game developers think, well, what do we get knocked for in reviews if we don't have them? Well, it's going to be, lots of things to do. It's an open world game. We need to fill that world with a lot of activity. And if people, get a mediocre story, well, they're used to that in video games. People aren't really going to be that upset, but they will be upset.
The story actually was okay. It wasn't.
That's fine. I'm just saying that they're going to put their resources into making all those activities rather than really hiring the best writers or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what I'd rather they did. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful looking game and it does look great.
Sure.
And mechanically it's brilliant. You know, the sort of swinging
visuals from Spider-Man up before he left.
Yeah, he didn't, did he? He just buggered off.
Anyway, go on.
But yeah, the visuals are great. I mean, they're out. I know that I've dissed on the game to begin with, but I'm going to finish with your positives.
Yes.
You know, the game looks amazing. The mechanics are amazing. You know, the swinging mechanic in particular just works. You know, do you know what's interesting with the swinging mechanic? And I thought about this more and more as I played through the game. Is they obviously made a massive conscious effort to make it feel like you were connecting to something.
Right.
Do you know? Because sometimes with the Spider-Man games, you're just swinging and you've no idea what you're actually attached to.
Right.
You know, it just feels like it's
I don't
just
want it to
going
be
up.
too realistic, because otherwise it won't be fun.
No, but I think they've done a great job of making it feel realistic. You know, when you swing round the corner of a building, it feels like you're attached to the corner of the building you're swinging around.
Sure.
You know, when you're going through Central Park, you can't swing until you dip low enough to be underneath the tree line.
Right.
You know, and things like that. So there's lots and lots of attention to detail, and I love that about the game. You know, I think that the effort they've put into, you know, make it as realistic as possible is great.
Right.
Like the voice acting is really, really well done. You know, everybody who's in it, there's not a single person who sounds wooden or a bit crap. You know, everyone sounds amazing. You know, like a movie quality voice cast.
Yeah.
Which again is great. Scripting's pretty good. You know, again, the dialogue's really well written. So there are lots of positives. I just wish they would pare down on the busy work.
Yeah.
You know, like Red Dead, I've only played a bit of that, but already it doesn't feel anywhere near that sort of level of stuff. You know, Rockstar are confident enough in the story and the world they've created where all of that sort of stuff is there, but it's kind of in the background.
Well, and they obviously put the story first, and then they do that. You know, they fill in the other things afterwards.
Yeah, and it just feels more organic as well. You know, the way that you get your side missions and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's go and chat to whoever in the camp, and you have a bit of a conversation with them, and out of that comes, you know, a side mission. And the side missions tend, especially in the early parts of Red Dead, and I don't know how it'll progress later on in the game, but they feel more about how, you know, getting to know that person in the camp.
Yeah, sure.
You know, is spending time with them, doing something that you need to do for them, whatever it may be, and it's kind of just
that's like Mass Effect as well. It's like the Fallout and Skyrim. You're doing missions for. Well, I guess it's more Fallout than Skyrim, but you know, you have your companions. You're doing missions for them.
Yeah, you're helping them out. You're getting to know them as a character. You're getting, you know, stuff of them, like rewards for helping them.
Boone in New Vegas, man, that's still the best companion quest of all time, I think.
And that's what I think moving forward with, you know, especially action adventure games and you know, there's more and more blurring of the lines between, you know, an RPG and an action adventure game these days. You know, it's hard to distinguish between the two.
Right.
You know, back in the day when we first started doing this show, even, you know, an RPG was an RPG and a third-person action game was a third-person action game, and there might have been very small elements within those genres, but they're nothing like they are now. You know, it's completely blurred, isn't it?
Right.
So yeah. So talking to Red Dead, I might as well finish off because they're the only two games I've played.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Red Dead 2, I haven't played a whole lot more, but I've played a few more missions. It's an amazing open world. I mean, the world is just traveling around it is great.
Yeah.
And since I found out about the cinematic mode it's almost like fast travel, even though you're not traveling fast.
Right.
That kind of makes any sense. Because you can just sort of, like when I was doing it, I went off to make a brew while it was traveling to a mission for me. So I sort of set the thing going and went, I'll go and make a brew while that's happening, and then I'll come back and hopefully I'll be at the next point where I can start the next mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. I think that's such a great little touch. I mean, it isn't a huge thing, but it saves you sort of having to hold your finger on a button.
Right.
You know, and I know that sounds stupid.
Well, no, it's fine. It's we better get him back, Bongo. Bongo's talking about you're not going to get him back.
Yeah, no, I saw that right there. And can I just give a quick shout out to Chenner85, whoever that is. I don't know, that's some sort of relation to Chinner. I don't know, it's a bit weird. Yeah. But yeah, he's followed us, so thank you for that, Chenner.
Yeah. Well, by the way, we're not military veterans, in case you're confused.
That's okay. We'll take it. It's a follow.
I just want to say, he said, hello, my veteran friends. Make it clear, we're not those kind of veterans, but thank you for coming and hanging out. Anyway, you were saying that the fast travel is awesome.
Well, it's not fast travel.
I know. Cinematic mode, I mean.
Yeah, the cinematic sort of set a marker, and then you go into cinematic mode, and it will just go to the marker on its own.
Right.
And he does a really great job of avoiding stuff in the world. I know we saw Chidi ramming into trucks and stuff. Well, the only thing that happened with me was there was a train in the middle of the train track, and he just ran straight into it on the horse. so that happened. But other people on the road, they will sort of just ride round them or whatever, which is kind of cool. It's very good with the hit detection. Apart from station, it seems to be stationary objects it has a problem with.
Yeah.
But that's what people. The other good thing is if you have just some random stranger, and I've had a couple of random stranger missions which are kind of funny. One was a woman who I was just riding along this random track, and this is what I think makes Red Dead great. And Red Dead 2 in addition. I was just riding along this track, and there was a woman trapped under a horse. So a horse had died or something had happened, and she was trapped underneath it. So then I went to help her out from under the horse, and then I had to give her a ride back into town. And then as a result, she gave me some rings or something. But what was kind of cool is as we were riding back into town, she was telling me about her problems and stuff that had happened to her. And
what problems? Stuck under a horse? I would think that's your biggest problem, stupid lady.
And I was a godsend in that she was going out to see this guy about a job, and he seemed a bit shady, so she wasn't really sure, but she had no choice.
She got trapped under it.
I know, and she borrowed the horse off someone else, so she was going to have to pay them back for the horse that had died. And I felt so sorry for the woman. And then she gave me money, gave me something to for helping her.
Yeah, better. I'm not doing this out of the goodness of my heart.
Yeah. So that kind of happened. And then I went on to do another mission, which was so cool. But then Kay came in and was like, "What are you doing? You need to turn this off now." So I had to turn it off.
Bitches.
I know. What are you going to do? Wives who don't like games.
Well, I don't think it's that she doesn't like games. I have a feeling there was some other reason why she said that.
Well, maybe. Do you know what she also says every time I play this game now?
What's that?
Yeah, you're going to cry at this game. You cried at Red Dead Redemption.
Of course, because they do a good job with the painful stories.
You cried at Red Dead Redemption, so you're going to cry at this game, aren't you? That's what I get every time she walks in the room. Is I'm going to cry. Anyway, I didn't cry. Not yet, anyway. But Red Dead is great, Duke, and I guess at some point you definitely need to be.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I might take the leap this week if I get grades in. Well, maybe not this week because I got grades due on Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. basically Tuesday night, and then I have parent-teacher conferences on Thursday. But maybe this coming weekend, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it is great.
I'm hearing great things about it. I do want to play it. Obviously, I really like the first one, so.
If there was ever a game to buy a console for again, I guess this is it.
Right.
This is it. So what about you anyway? What have you been up to?
Yeah, well, I was hoping Chinny would be back because I want to brag about
that 5 minutes is lengthened, doesn't it?
I know, right? This has been at least 10. Bongo, you suck. Give us our host
I would have
back.
said probably more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, the hell. Anyway, let me talk about Space Chem.
Yay, Space Chem, the game that eats up thousands of hours of people's time.
Yes. So this game is very interesting because I told you last week that I had tried it once upon a time, couldn't get into it. I said, screw this, and I quit. And then the new game came out, and I was like, you know what? I want to try that Space Chem thing one more time. And I went back to it, and it made a lot of sense, and it really clicked. And I was like, yes, I'm getting this. I understand it. I feel smart. And then I got to a level. I finished they have all these different, there's 5 levels per planet, and then you move to a different planet.
Right.
And I got to this planet that's apparently halfway through the game, and it got so complicated. And I was like, I don't even understand what I'm supposed to do, to be honest. And the biggest problem with the game is that you have such limited resources. So at one point in this game, so basically you're moving atoms around and you combine them to make molecules, and then you shift the molecules out, and that's the whole game. Well, at a certain point, you have to split molecules apart in order to get the atoms, and then reassemble the atoms into new molecules.
And the people who love this game are going, don't go to a walkthrough.
Well, who cares what they say? Because at a certain point, it was And the problem is not that you have to split molecules into atoms and then reassemble the atoms into molecules. That by itself isn't too hard. The problem is you have to do it without very many resources. So in other words, you need to split the atoms apart and then reassemble them in one machine. And if you had two machines, one for splitting them apart and another for reassembling them, your life would be so much easier.
What machine do you have? A particle accelerator? What do you do? What are you using
I don't
there?
know what they call it. It's like a reactor, basically. And I don't know what exactly it's supposed to mimic in the world of chemistry, but it doesn't matter. The point is, it's you have to be very efficient with what you have. So there's really two things going on. One is figuring out what needs to be done, and the other is figuring out how to do it in a way that's very, very, very efficient. And I can do the first part, but when it got to the second part, I was like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to do this, because in the grid, the other problem is you can only run, you have red and blue lines, and you give instructions. Each box on the grid, you can only have one instruction in it, right? So when you're running one of the, basically you're running a program, you're writing a program with the software in a way. You can only, it says spawn the particle, grab the particle, turn the particle, et cetera, et cetera. You can't do two of those things at once. And if you don't have enough space, you have to figure out a way to make it work. And it's really confusing in that regard. So anyway, the point is I got to this one level that I just couldn't do. But what I had done before was when I got to a level I couldn't do before, I went to a walkthrough video and I didn't watch it. I just looked at how it was set up. And then I said, okay, I see how they basically structure it. I'm going to go figure out how to do that.
Right. Okay.
So that was good because it was kind of a hint more than an actual, here's what you do. So I did that this time, and I looked at how they set it up, and I was like, okay. And I went and I tried it, and I couldn't do it. And I quit, and I went away. And the next day I came back, and I tried it again, and I couldn't do it. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not getting this. I must be really stupid. So I went and watched the video, and the video was so confusing. And the video wasn't very long. It was just, once you have it set up, then you run the program, basically, and it goes through the motions, and you have to let it run 300 times or whatever. So what they did in the video was they ran it very slowly for one loop, and then they sped it up, and then they sped it up again, and eventually sped it up again. So it's just going a mile a minute. So I had to keep playing that very slow loop over and over again so I could see exactly what the particles were doing as they moved along the path. And I was like, I don't really understand what's going on here. So what I did was I was like, okay, I will go and recreate on my screen what they show in the video. And maybe
Jesus
by
Christ,
building
this is way too complicated.
Maybe by building it, I'll understand what it's doing. And I kind of did get it. And then I was like, all right, I think I understood what I needed to do there. And I sort of got the sense of what was happening there. So then I deleted it all. And I said, let me see if I can build it again from memory. And I got about halfway done and I forgot what was going on. So I went back and I saw how they did it. I'm like, okay. And then I finished it up and it didn't work. And I was like, oh, I did something wrong here. And then I fixed it up and I deleted it and I did it again until I could do it without looking at the walkthrough, right? So that I did learn what I was doing as I went.
Yeah, but then, did you understand it, though?
I did. I really did understand it. Like I was able to do it my own way. I didn't have to do it exactly the way they did it because I understood the elements involved. So I felt really proud of myself. I was like, this took a long time, but I finally understood it. I got it. I'm good. Then I went to the next level, and it was that same basic idea. That was just the starting point. So the skills I had learned on the previous level, they were just the very, very basic starting point of this next level.
Wow, so they were like the tip of the iceberg.
At that point, I was like,
I just want to say, fuck this game, I'm done.
I tried like 4 times to get...
I just want to say, fuck this game, I'm done. I'm back.
Yes, welcome back, Chinny.
Hello.
You can put Space Cam up. Actually, don't put Space Cam.
I already have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done with this game.
Yeah,
because I realized, look, I might.
But did you realize it was making your head hurt far too much?
It's not only making my head hurt, but it was like I didn't care. I reached a certain point where I was like, I'm going to require so many walkthroughs. And again, it wasn't just that I had to split these atoms up and then I had to combine them with these split atoms. It was you have to do 4 things in this reactor and then have these 2 other reactors to do these other 4 things in each of them. And I was like, I just don't care. It's way too
Look,
complicated.
Very anal people will love this game because
Hey,
it's
more
just
power
kind
to them. I think they should have a Space Chem Junior, maybe, and I would really.
of Space Chem for kids.
Yeah.
That's what
Because
you need.
it is a way of teaching kids chemistry. It is a good game in its basic structure. The problem was the learning curve. Just at a certain point, it became an asymptote, and it just shot straight up. And I was only halfway through the game.
Is this chemistry? Physics, though? It's more physics, isn't it?
No, it's programming is what it basically is.
No, but it's physics. Chemistry
It's
is
programming.
liquid.
All right, I think we're splitting hairs.
Splitting
Splitting
atoms.
atoms. The point is this. I quit halfway through the game. I took a look at one of the levels on the last planet. It was unbelievable. You were moving like a group of 6 atoms, rotating it just perfectly so it didn't touch any of the other atoms that were sitting all over the screen, and then sliding it into place on the right side of it. It was just nuts. I was like, no way in hell I would ever get near that.
Hence why people have played like 700 hours of this stupid
Which again,
game.
like I really wanted to keep playing it because I liked the basic structure of it. I was doing well before they made it way too complicated. So I don't know. I think it's a shame because I think that this is a game that could bring in people like me who aren't scientifically minded, but they just chose to make it so complicated that it became not fun.
Wow.
So anyway, that's Space Chem. I don't have too much to say about Rocket League this week, but I do have something very important that I have to say about Rocket League.
Ooh.
Yes.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done. But for the first time ever, I reached the diamond rank!
Yeah. So you'll be getting even more grief when you play with people and they go, "How are you a diamond rank?"
No, I didn't have too much of that. I mean, of course, I lost it after 2 games, but that's not the point. The point is that I'm very happy that I reached this milestone because I've just been getting better and better, and can't touch my swag. Beep, beep. I love these kids. I'm playing, for those of you who don't know, this is the Can't Handle My Swag kids, and they're just dancing around being silly. And I wanted to dance around and be silly because I reached diamond rank. I've been getting steadily better, right? I put out the Mind Wipe 2 book last autumn, and I was looking at it recently, and I realized in that book I wrote, and I'd written it probably that summer, but I wrote, I've been playing Rocket League for a while, and I just now started getting into the gold ranks. So I've gone from generally being in gold to diamond in like a year and a half, and I think that's pretty cool.
That is impressive.
I'm very proud of the fact that I reached diamond, and I will. So here's the thing: I won 1 game of diamond at the diamond level, right? I won 1 game. It was at the threes level. I'm still around platinum 1 in doubles, but I won 1 game, and so when I don't know, I haven't played Rocket League lately, but they keep track of how many games you've won at each level in order to figure out which prize you get at the end of the season, right? So I had the platinum prize all set up, and then you get I got 1 game at the diamond level. So there's this one little marker on my screen forever reminding me, hey, remember that time you won 1 game at the diamond level? You suck.
Yeah, and you're never getting that prize because you didn't win enough games.
I'm not getting it this season, but I'll get it next season probably. We'll see.
Wow.
It's good to feel like you're making progress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all power to you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
Jesus
What?
Christ.
And then the thing I played this week was Kingdoms and Castles, because after Space Chem, I needed something that required very little thinking. So I was like,
did it?
No, it did not. I played this before. I've talked about it before. Kingdoms and Castles is a very cute, very low graphics intense. I mean, it's good graphics, but they're very simple graphics. It's very stripped down. It's basically like Banished.
The style, Duke, is called low poly.
Low poly, thank you. That's exactly right. Yes, and it's a little medieval village building game. You just decide where the streets are going to go and where the houses are going to go and where the trees are going to get cut down and where a forester will go to rebuild his trees and all that stuff. They've added some updates recently. So there are now wolf dens, which I didn't really run into any of those yet. Basically what happens is they will eat anybody who comes near them except for people working for a forester. So you just have to kind of steer clear, I guess. Or I think you can like train soldiers who will then go and deal with the wolf den. But I didn't have to do that. So. And then the other thing is there's a witch now on the map somewhere, and she summons you at one. I guess you can knock on her door to start the first interaction. So you can wait to meet up with her before you do that later. But when you do make contact with the witch, every few years she says to you, hey, I need some wood and stone, or I need some gold and wood. And when you do, if you give her the things she wants, you become friends with her, and then you can buy a spell from her. And the spell will either cure the plague that's going through town, or you can instantly smite the Vikings who are or the barbarians who are attacking. Yeah. So it's kind of an interesting new wrinkle. It adds a little more, I don't know. I mean, it's been a tower defense game in some ways because you occasionally get visited by a dragon. You occasionally get visited by the Vikings.
As soon as you said dragon, they popped up on the screen. How about that?
There you go.
So just zoom back a little bit here, Duke.
Yes.
So what's the sort of objective of this? Because it's a low poly sort of world building game, not too dissimilar from like a SimCity or a City Skylines, and it's low poly.
Exactly like, right.
It's like that. So is it the objective is just
exactly
to build and conquer kind of stuff, or?
Yeah, exactly. So you're not conquering really. There's nothing to really conquer so much as there is just expanding. And you have to keep building new houses, so more people. Every year you'll get a report from your domestic advisor or whatever who says, hey, we had 12 people come to visit, but only 3 of them found satisfying homes. You need to build more houses. And if you build more houses, you can tax people more, you get more gold, you can buy more stuff, you can build more stuff. And then, of course, they will chop down more trees, you can mine more rock. You can basically, the more you keep growing, the more stuff you can build. Eventually you can get iron, and then you get better tools and whatever.
So
this person actually is kind of stupid because you see they've got the windmills there, but the windmills, the reason you use windmills is because they will irrigate or they'll make the farm around them better. But you only need one windmill in the middle of 8 different farms.
Right.
But they've got the windmills right next to each other, so that's kind of there's really no reason.
So for someone like myself, I'd like games where you build stuff like Prison Architect and City Skylines and stuff. Do you think is this complicated? Too complicated for me?
It's not really that complicated. The best thing about it is that it really does walk you through it pretty smoothly. So I don't remember exactly how it works, but I'm pretty sure when you first start, you've got advisors who are telling you, hey, just place your castle somewhere, and you place the little keep, and then you build roads around it. And, it's also trial and error, like Prison Architect. You build and the first city I built, I didn't have enough wells. So when the fire started, as it inevitably it will, either from a dragon or because, spark from a fireplace goes bad, half the city burned down. So I was like, okay, next time I got to build more wells. Or you don't even have to do it next time. You can basically destroy one of the houses and put a well where the house was.
Right.
So I think it does a good job of walking you through it. And again, it's got good replayability because, you can also turn off the Viking and dragon attacks if you just want it to be a city builder.
You can, turn off it's like turning off the monsters in Minecraft. You can just turn it off.
Exactly. And,
very good.
You can pause it. You can hit, faster, slower, whatever. They keep updating it. They keep adding new stuff, which is what made me, one of the reasons I wanted to go back is because, I can find out how these witches work now. I still haven't built a port where you can get a merchant to come in. I don't really know what the merchants do, but my guess is it's a lot like what happens in Banished. When a merchant shows up, you can buy new kinds of tree seeds to, plant cherry trees or peach trees.
So if we was to put a value on the complexity and the sort of ease of entry, like, 10 being, EVE Online or Civilization, and where would you put this in terms of like a number?
I'd probably put this at like a 4 or a 5.
Oh, right, like really low down.
Not too low. I mean, it's not,
it's pretty low, yeah.
Just it's not a cookie clicker kind of game.
No.
There is some thinking involved, but I would say that, as long as you're keeping your defenses up, then you're going to be pretty good. The problem I'm having is that I'm not able to stockpile any gold for whatever reason. Maybe I'm not taxing them enough because, of
That
course,
sounds like a good problem to have.
well, it's okay, but
Too much gold.
when you tax the people, their happiness goes down. And if you don't have happiness, then people won't move into your town. Now, taxation being low is not the only way to keep people happy. You can build libraries, you can build taverns, you can build churches. These things will make people happy.
It sounds very similar to cities, like you can raise taxes to increase revenue. However, people don't really necessarily like that. But if you build a better area, build better recreational areas and stuff, they tend to sort of respond positively. Very good.
So it's good.
I
mean,
think you'd like this, Chinny.
Say again. Sorry, Tara's just come in and stolen some flapjacks. She said, "I'm just taking 3 of these flapjacks, and then I'm gonna go downstairs." And then she's come in and she's opened up, and now she's crying because she wants more. She's like, Tara. By the way, I think we should get Tara on the show because she's done a fantastic. Sorry to interrupt you, Duke. Is that okay?
I'm basically done.
Tara, come here. Come on. There's no video. You're fine. You're good. Right. So Tara, I'm going to hand it over to you now. And you're going to go on the show.
Warm it up, Tara.
Go.
Yeah, we heard that.
You can hear the guys and then just speaking to them.
Hello.
What up, T?
Hi, how are you both?
T-Cash, how you doing?
We're very well.
Yeah.
Very well. We were just
like having so many people in your home
Yeah,
yesterday.
what happened?
Well, there was less people this year.
Yeah.
But it was the longest that I'd stayed in the kitchen.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I think it was because I was feeding 2 of them this year. And then we had our nephew as well. But he was great. He just looked after himself. He was brilliant.
Good.
Yeah, little Jimmy. Oh.
Big Jimmy now. He's nearly taller than me.
I know. Yeah,
And what was your favorite part of
big
the whole
Jimmy.
process there, Tara?
I think just the fact that Pete and Mike were doing it together.
Yeah.
And that young Jimmy was there as well. And it's just like another generation being introduced into games and raising money and just a really good cause.
Oh. Was it not when Weird Blue Man turned up?
Oh, I wiped that from my memory, so thanks for. These areas were too smooth. I didn't know how to look.
So let me ask you a question. Did you answer the door when he knocked?
Jimmy did. I think Jimmy knew he was coming and let him in. Otherwise, I would have freaked out if I answered the door to him.
Can you imagine?
Weirdos here.
Yeah.
Who's at the door?
Yeah. We don't get many blue people around here, do we?
No, not many blue people, no.
No.
Oh my god. So when you saw this blue man enter the house, how did you feel at that point? Were you like, what the fuck's going on?
A little bit, but I was really tired. I don't know. He came quite late in the day, didn't he?
So did you think you were hallucinating at that point?
Slightly. Yeah. I just thought, I had like a split second of thinking, oh my gosh. And then I just went with it. I just went with it, yeah. That was the best thing to do.
Weird man's fine.
Yeah. And he perked them up. He brought a lot of energy into the room.
We saw the energy. He was dancing and everything.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wish were different next year, Tara? You want him to do a little different in the future?
That's a good question.
More booze.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer that question. It's really good.
What is the question?
What
would you do anything differently?
Would you do anything differently next year?
Just do it on my own.
Bring something different to it.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, just curious. No biggie.
No biggie's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
God, it's terrible. But yeah, no, it's great, Tara, and obviously all the work and effort. And Mike did say earlier that you were the unsung hero behind the scenes, keeping everybody fueled and watered.
Yeah, very important job.
Very important job. So what? I mean, you can talk. He hasn't really told us about this, but so what food did you supply throughout the day? So how much did they consume between them?
So you started with peanut butter on toast.
Okay.
Cup of tea. I didn't make you any coffee this year. But you had cups of tea. My famous wedges. So I make potato wedges. Salt, cracked salt, and black pepper, and some garlic. garlic rub, and homemade burgers.
Mm-hmm.
And then some Pete friendly food because he has a special diet, so I made some food for Pete.
Yeah, like he gives a shit about that. We don't know how much pizza he can consume.
Yeah, there's no pizza this year. And what else? I made some vanilla shortbread as well.
Very nice. Yeah, I did mention the shortbread.
Yeah.
Shortbread to keep them. Yeah, well, that's a big factor, isn't it? Keeping the energy levels up there whilst you're playing games, I guess, for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I've yet to do this. I've never done it. I've never done this because it's just like, I can't be arsed doing that. I mean,
he's scared.
I donate for the kids, but I ain't like stayed up all night playing video games. I ain't got the patience anymore. I'm too old for that shit.
Wait till I retire, man. I'm gonna do this every week.
Yeah, not even for charity. You just play for 24 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny too because people talk about like, oh, so and so retired, and then he was bored, so he went and got another job. I'm like, hell no, I ain't getting no other jobs. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna play video games, Rocket League.
Hell yeah.
It really will be Rocket League for life, won't it?
I'll be diamond by then. God damn it.
You'll be there, sat in your rocking chair with your controller, and you'll just have some massive heart attack and drop dead while you're playing Rocket League.
Yeah, but I will have scored.
You probably will. On the moment you get your diamond prize, you'll cark it. Irony of all that.
I've completed everything I needed to
complete.
There it is. And then I get to heaven, and Jesus is there waiting with my big rocket diamond crown.
Yeah, with some fucking diamond hubcaps or something.
Yes, thank you, Jesus.
Diamond hubcaps. Well done.
Yeah. Oh
my God. Right. I suppose we better move on, but it's lovely to speak to you, Tara.
Yeah, you two both as well. Take care.
Take care of yourself.
Bye.
Bye. Chinny's back.
My wife, ladies and gentlemen.
Your wife. Yeah. Right,
my wife.
Before we move on to emails and speak pipes and shit, I've been hearing some rumours that you might be coming up north next weekend. Is this true, or is this just pure speculation?
This could be true, yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
You just saw him at EGX. You need to see him again?
I know, I believe so, yeah. I might be seeing you. So what percentage-wise is this going to happen then?
91%.
Really? That's quite... So right, here's a question. Are you going to get a hotel? What's happening?
I don't know.
Or are you going to drive back at silly o'clock in the morning?
I ain't going to drive. We're going to get a hotel. I love a Premier in me. Do you know what I mean? I love a Premier in. We'll get a Premier in.
Look, do you know what? You can't beat a Premier in because you know what you're getting.
You know what you're getting? It's good.
You know
it's comfy. It's fine.
Get breakfast. Get good brekkie in the morning.
Good, decent breakfast. I like a Premier in. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, because and we should explain why I'm asking because this sounds all very cryptic, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not that bad.
No, it isn't. But Dan, who we play D&D with, who we know very well, who we meet up with every year, and I used to work with him, and obviously we meet up every year at EGX and all that, is doing this event called White Collar Wrestling.
Yeah.
So basically, he works in an office, but for one night only, he's going to be getting all sweaty and groping men and throwing them around the wrestling ring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's happening next Saturday. And this is for charity as well, I believe. So this is all for charity. And all
it's all
that money's
about
going...
doing... If you have a passion, if you have a hobby that you do for fun...
There's no reason not to do it for 24 hours straight.
If you can do it for a good cause, then why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this because obviously I've got my ticket already to go and see the show. And it would be super cool if Chinny and his brother were there, I've got to say. This is boxing, by the way,
my wife.
not wrestling.
Pete ain't coming.
My wife.
Pete, my wife, not Pete.
Oh, right. Dan was under the impression that Pete was coming with you.
I don't know. Maybe he is. I have no idea. No, Pete's not coming. No. I remember telling... No.
No, it's you and Tara.
Me and Tara, yeah.
Very good. Well, I'm super excited to see you anyway, so hopefully that'll come together. Let me know during the week what's happening, and
I will not.
Super cool. I mean, you could come round and see Kay and Millie.
Thank God we talked about that in the middle of the show.
No, I've just brought it up because it just occurred to me before we move on. You know,
Is
I've
it
got
time for emails?
Space to mention it. Yeah, let's do that speak pipe we got first, and then we'll do emails. Let's do speak pipes.
Oh, switching it up.
Switch it up. Speak pipe. It's the way to leave a message for us.
And because we went so long on that first part, we ain't doing no 20,008.
Yeah, stop that shit.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go straight into
Suck out of here. Okay, so this is from Derek Signs, as always. And it's number 301 because Antonio won the 300 race.
He did.
Hello, veteran gamers. It's Derek Sains back again, and I'm recording this speed pipe on the evening of the 31st of October 2018.
Oh yes,
which is of course Halloween.
Halloween.
And my next door neighbour, or one of them, is holding a Halloween costume party at the moment, and I think the party spilled out into the back garden. It was getting a bit rowdy earlier on, so hopefully it'll not be a disturbance. But I think I'll just open my bedroom window just to see how it's going. If you just hold on a second.
Oh, he's having a look.
Oh, that's a loud party. If I didn't know any better, I think that was like recorded. That doesn't sound like an actual party.
That was real.
I guess it has to be. He wouldn't lie to us about that.
No.
So calm down a little from earlier on, but I was just thinking of a question for this week, and with it being Halloween, I thought I'd just ask you, can you remember the last time you were actually scared or frightened by any sort of entertainment media? And by that I mean things like films, books, TV programs, video games, maybe even a song, I don't know. But I have been trying the game you recommended a few weeks ago, The Evil Within. I have been dying a lot in that, but it's getting quite addictive. I'm not that far into it, but I'll carry on with it. And I think I'll just say keep on gaming, and in a couple of weeks' time, I'll be doing a film speak pipe, film quiz speak pipe. So until then, I'll just leave you with some ambient sounds from next door's party. I'll just open this window.
It's funny how the sound of the party comes right away.
It's amazing.
That's great. So last time we were scared by a game or a movie or a book.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the last time. I'll talk about the first time I was scared by a video game. I'm going to change it up. The first time I was scared by a video game was probably Condemned.
Oh, there you go.
Back on the 360. That was, and it was probably, I think it was this. It was the one of the first games I bought for my 360 because I bought that and I can't even remember what else I got. But I got about 3 games with the console, and that was one of them. And I played it because obviously it was all new and exciting, and obviously a lot of novelty. I played it like into the early hours of the morning. So I'm sat there with the lights off in the living room playing Condemned, and I got to the level with the mannequins. Have you both played this? I know Chinny has. Have you played this, Stu?
No, I've heard of it. I've seen that level, though.
And boy, oh boy, that was one of the scariest, even now, even like to this day, is probably the scariest moment in a video game.
If you went back, though, Stu,
no, it probably wouldn't be, but I think at the time, and I think because you were expecting something to happen and it just didn't, apart from every time. It was like the angels out of Doctor Who. Have you ever seen that?
No.
The angels, every time you don't look at them, they move closer.
Oh, okay.
It's like the thing in Super Mario.
The
Yes.
ghosts, yeah, the boos.
Yeah. And it was just horrible. And every time you looked away and then looked back up again, they were closer to you, and they just sort of moved you, shepherded you around the level. And it was just horrible. And you're right, Chinny, probably if I go back and play it now, it probably doesn't hold up as well. And I have played it recently because I bought it on PC for about £1. But that game, it was just genuinely scary. And the second one as well was pretty freaky.
Yeah.
There was a bear chase in the second one.
There is, and that's well horrible.
It's a great moment.
Yeah. So there, Condemned's probably the sort of one of the first times I was ever properly scared in a video game.
Chinny, what about you?
I think the most scared I've ever been was Deadly Premonition.
See what you did there.
The thought that people actually worked on that game and
What
and
the
was
hell is this?
passionate about it. It scared the living bejesus
And
out
that
of me.
people like it now. Like, it's one thing
Yeah.
to make a bad game; it's another for people to actually enjoy it. Like,
I think the last time I don't know. I remember Dead Space 2 wasn't fun in like a fun way. Do you know what I mean? Like my memory of Dead Space 1 and 2 was always you could stamp on the bodies. Do you know what I mean? And like basically, the game became a body stamping simulator because you would never trust anything.
No,
you know?
you stamped on everything, didn't you?
Dead Space would deal with your trust issues a lot because you never wanted to trust any. If you see a body, you're like, well, that's gonna come alive, and then like I felt like Dead Space was good at kind of balancing it out. Do you know what I mean? Like having moments where it did come alive, and having moments where it didn't come alive, and having moments where you feel like you're safe, and having moments where you don't feel like you're safe, but nothing happens. You know what I mean? Because that's the scary part. Is when you actually fight in the guy, the thing or the whatever. You're not scared in that moment. You're more scared in the anticipation of it.
It is, and I think that's what is scary in video games, especially. It's not the actual, like you said, it's not the thing. It's the anticipation of it coming.
Well, the scary thing about video games is that you drive the action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You nothing will progress until you do something about it. And the way you stop the thing happening is you also have to do something about it. So that's the scary thing, is that you have to do something.
I mean, not particularly scary, but very horrible and uneasy. Was it the second Dead Space where you had to stick the needle in your eyeball?
Yes.
Oh, it's a horrible thing.
That is horrible.
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily scary, but it was like, ooh, this is horrible.
It was gruesome.
Yeah, gruesome.
Yeah.
The other day. But
So
yeah.
for me, I would say that Amnesia was the game that really bothered me the most. I mean, I didn't rely on jump scares, so that's good, but it was horribly unsettling, and it did a very good job of doing all that build up. And I reached a certain point where I was like, you know what? I think I've learned that I don't like games like this.
That is scary.
With it. I got through maybe 20% of the game, and then I was like, I'm good.
The interesting thing about Amnesia is nothing happens for about an hour.
Well, right. It's all just creepy, unsettling.
Yeah.
You feel it coming, and then it's like, ugh. So, like I'm not into horror movies in general. I don't read a lot of horror fiction. I think Silence of the Lambs is a great movie because it's not just about the killing. I saw Saw, I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've seen a few horror films. I think Alien did a great job of creating a sparse, stripped down, terrifying experience. And again, it's because it builds. It's about what could be inside of you, and it's just so disgusting. But it's great. It's really effective in that sense.
I'm trying to remember the last movie I watched that I was genuinely unnerved by. Or
I'll tell you this: we watched The Quiet Place, and like,
oh yeah, it's good.
It was a good movie, but on the other hand, like, there are so many ways you could explore the difficulty of living in that situation without having it to be every 5 seconds you're right on the verge of death. And that's the thing, is that it felt so over the top in terms of the setup, because the artist has total control over whether that setup is going to be like one monster or 20 monsters or, hundreds of thousands of monsters. And it felt very convenient that it became a story about just barely not dying. And that doesn't interest me as much. I'd rather have a more, laid back story about that same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Out. That's.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie. Love Get Out. Because again, it's about something really deep and important in society, and they did it very well.
Yeah.
Get Out.
Get Out. Yeah. Any movies for you, Ginny, that you're scared, or TV shows?
I like the new It.
I heard
Yeah, it
a
was
lot
good.
of bad things about the new It. I mean, not bad, but just I don't know. I heard like the original better.
I never
Yeah, the
really watched the
TV
original.
series.
Yeah, the TV show. I remember that being around because they used to
Yeah.
advertise it on Sky One, and I used to watch Sky One for Simpsons. But No, I like the new one. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well made and interesting and scary. And I think the last film that we watched that it was disturbing and Tara was really disturbed by it was The Hills of Eyes.
Oh, the remake one or the original?
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah, the remake one was good. I like that.
No, Tara didn't like that one. Too much. It was too far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's pretty graphic.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty graphic. Well, we like that, so I like a good horror film. But yeah. Anyway, I guess we should move on to some emails then.
I guess we should.
Whoa, that ruled.
Well, the first email we have this evening is from Jason Collar. And because, interestingly, and this is a bit weird, but because he set up a new email address, it sent me a be careful with this message.
Ooh.
Because this person has never sent you messages using this email address before.
Some ways doing a good job trying to help us out with our email. And another way is I wish Gmail would shut the hell up about how about responding with this phrase? Maybe you meant to type that. Shut up, robot. Leave me alone. Let me do my email.
Well, the first thing he sent is a link for you, Duke.
Oh, sweet. What is it?
It's a place called Evermore Park.
Just read me the URL. Type it in as you read it.
What I'll do is I'll type it. I can read it because it's not a very big one. It's www.
Wait, W.
Yeah, do you know how to do that?
Go ahead.
Evermore.com. So it's evermore.com.
Yes.
There you go. That's for you.
Jesus, why did you even include the www? That's deprecated. Enter the story. Be the first to experience Evermore and the world of lore. Buy tickets. Buy tickets. This is like a real thing.
It's a theme park.
Oh, really?
In Utah, where they've recreated Skyrim just for you.
No, they have not actually recreated Skyrim.
They have those dragons and everything.
Yeah, but that's not Skyrim. Skyrim is Whiterun. Skyrim is Solitude.
Well, it's not Skyrim, but it's
a fantasy theme park.
Yeah,
though.
fancy theme park.
You know what? I can see that being interesting.
So there you go. And they've got events and everything. Well, when I saw it, I thought it was a video game at first. I was like, "What is this?" So there you go. So that's for you, off Jason. Look,
are there rides? It's a living theatrical experience.
No, I don't think there's rides.
Guests will become inhabitants and be involved in adventures and quests in worlds of fantasy storytelling. Are you hiring? Oh no, go away.
It's like a real life MMO.
Why is everything in the future? Will the park be ADA compliant? Yes. Will there be an annual pass?
Is it not open yet then?
Masks will not be allowed for safety It sounds like it's not. All the frequently asked questions are in future tense.
There you go. Who knew? Anyway, it has written an email.
It's fall 2018.
There you go. Also, would like to state that all of the Red Dead Redemption 2 haters should totally quit playing it and go back to their mediocre entertainment. I guess Westerns must be a niche genre. Me, I'll be on my horse enjoying the world of a niche perfection in the greatest game that has ever been made. Is there that many haters? I didn't realise there was a lot of haters for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Man.
You know of any haters?
Yes.
Chinny?
There is, and this happened with the first Red Dead, Jason, just to let you know. When the first Red Dead came out, a lot of people went, well, it's not that good, or Mexico drags, and da-da-da-da. What I'll say about those people is they eventually get forgotten about, and the great game that is here today will always remain, so don't worry about it.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. Fowler, if I hear you complain about it one more time, I'm going to have to accept that your taste in games has strangely, truly become weird and shit.
Uh-oh.
I don't think you were negative on it, though.
I wasn't negative on it. I had a few minor points, but nothing major.
I think you play up your minor points more.
Shots fired!
Look, I'm just truthful, man. I say it how it is.
No, shut up. Like, I think you just put us more of a spotlight on what you don't like, but
it's a good job you didn't hear what I said about Spider-Man earlier then.
I did.
Anyway, he says, sent from the Wild West, Jason!
Jason!
Jason! Jason!
Jason!
Alice! 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 Anyway.
Yeah, I was just wanted to see how long you went with that then.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it anymore.
It wasn't funny the first time, so...
I know, shut
Sure
up.
it was. It was great.
Second email tonight is from Lewis, a very regular emailer.
Yeah.
And he says this, hello, veterans.
Hey.
Hey.
First of all, I would like to congratulate Chinny and Pete for reaching their Extra Life goal.
Woo!
Well done, you.
Thank you very much.
I
Thank
managed to watch a few hours of the stream, and I have the utmost respect for what you have done.
Yeah, I remember you coming in, Lewis. Yep.
I've just finished watching Antonio's Extra Life and even played Mario Kart with him at the end. You guys managed not only to raise money, but also keep it entertaining to watch. And I think everyone who did the 24-hour challenge deserves a round of applause.
Yay!
Anyway, this week I've been playing GTA 5 and a bit of Mario Kart with Antonio, but not much else. I did make a horrifying discovery, however. I was scrolling through the App Store and found an editorial article that looked interesting.
Ooh.
As normal, it had some games listed below, but that's when I saw it. The thumbnail was a pink background with a pigeon in the front.
Oh, yeah, pigeon. Ooh.
My hands shook as I read the title, Hateful Boyfriend. AKA
Oh,
Pigeon
pigeon.
Shagger
Oh, I love your
2000.
beak. Yeah, flap your wings on me, baby.
It costs £5. Who the hell wants this game?
Stuart.
And the worst part, it's rated 5 stars. Clearly, these people are insane.
Yep.
Anyway, so it's time for the big question. Would you play video games for 5 days straight?
No.
24 hours a day if someone gave you £10 million for doing it?
No.
Yes.
Yes. It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not sleep for 5 days? Are you out of your
Yeah,
mind?
as long as you can eat and drink, it'll be fine.
Really? You think you could have no problem staying up for 5 days straight?
Well, it's £10 million,
That's not
man.
healthy, dude.
No, but it's a one-off thing, man. Once you
It's a
get your 10
one-off
million,
thing. Not
yeah.
sleeping for 5 days.
Yeah, but like after that, you can go through therapy or get health checks, a
Yeah.
personal trainer.
This is the great myth of modern society. No matter what you do to get your money, the money will help you undo it later.
Hey, the
Of course
money
it will.
is a
£10
tool.
million,
The
man.
money's a tool to make yourself better, right?
Yeah,
So-
£10 million quid.
To end all your woes, your ups, your down, your highs, and your lows. Didn't tell me last time that love bought your clothes. It's like that, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's what I
Exactly.
said.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Why do you have to sing all that shit? He just did it in one sentence.
Yeah, I don't.
Fucking fannying around with a whole song.
Hey, if money is what you love, then that's what you'll get.
Well, £10 million,
Yeah.
man.
Sounds good then.
5 days, done.
Yeah.
I thought you was going to have some sort of like lesson behind that phrase, dude.
Yeah,
but that
what's-
just
what's
sounded
the lesson?
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you.
So how many days would you do for $10 million?
I don't want $10 million. I'm quite happy.
Oh, come away, man. Don't give me all that bollocks.
Serious.
I don't know. I genuinely believe.
If I was interested in money, why would I become a teacher?
Zing.
Look, if somebody came up to you and went, look, here's $10 million
What do
dollars
you
or
want
pounds or
for this
whatever,
£10
would you go, no, take it away, man. I don't want it.
What do you want for the $10 million?
Nothing. If you just went,
Oh,
"Here's
bullshit.
$10
Now
million
who's living in a fantasy world? Someone's going to come up and just hand me $10 million for no reason. Stop
Look,
it.
might just be very generous.
if-
Don't-
Okay,
Yeah,
no.
they're very generous
See,
millionaires who
This
don't
is the
pay their
thing.
fair share
Stu
of
doesn't
taxes.
know how to handle Duke. Right, Duke, what if? Right, let me
Yeah,
paint you
here we
into the
go.
picture here.
Okay.
Here we go.
You get a letter through the door. You open the letter. You go, hey, Diana, I got this letter. And she says, shut up, I hate you. You go, yeah, whatever. Right, and then you open it.
How
and
did you know the secret shame of our relationship?
You open it, right, and it goes, Mr. Piachowski, due to, I don't know, some circumstances that were beyond your control, you have now inherited from a great uncle, and you kind of knew this uncle, but you didn't really know him. You're like, oh, really? Okay. And
funny because I only had one uncle, but
right,
go on.
but like, yeah, but this other uncle, and the money sort of trickled down.
Yeah,
and
secret uncle you didn't know anything about.
And the person that the money went
I
to,
didn't know him, but I didn't know him at all. Go ahead.
and it's a bit of land and stuff, and you're like, okay, and then you found out that this land is actually worth loads of money, and they found oil on this land, and now good.
Whoa.
Right, but then you're like, oh, but like you don't want to do it, but it's been sold beyond your control. And now you have $20 million.
Oof, that's double.
You have an inheritance of $20 million.
Yeah, nothing you can do about it because you got it. What are you going to do
and
with it?
You got it from no real sort of benefit to yourself, no real fault to yourself.
Bleeding the earth dry and taking the oil out of it.
But that's been done. Like it's all been done. Like it doesn't. You haven't done anything bad to get this money.
As Ed Prez says, steal the rims off your Lexus, snatch your necklace, and sell it off, and give the homeless a hot breakfast.
If you can,
like,
if you
what
can
do I do with half my money now?
Fucking answer the question.
If you can get through any explanation without quoting a rap or poem,
I know exactly.
That's gonna be pretty tough, man.
So what would you do with that money?
What would you do? Not what some rapper would do.
I would give it to people in East Timor. I would fund Dr. Dan's clinic. In
all
perpetuity.
of it.
All of it. $20 million.
What do I need with money? I have the perfect car. It doesn't pollute. It gets me where I want to go. I have the best house I could possibly have. I have video games I can't even play because I don't have time for it yet. I eat the most delicious food all the time. I have nice clothes. What the hell do I need with more money?
Yeah, but like, there's going to be a new PlayStation coming out.
I have something Bill Gates will never have. I have enough.
Oh, you're making me think. Yeah, but you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't buy anything more, you fucking liar.
Well, I want to buy more. I don't.
Well, let me ask you. Whoa, Duke.
I don't even want anything else.
Let me paint you another picture.
Red Dead 2. Hello.
Let me paint you another picture.
I could afford a PS4. I just don't have time for it right now.
Marcus Persson. I always feel like it's pronounced it Pisson.
What?
But Marcus Persson, who's the creator of Minecraft, because he had gazillions of billions of dollars. He bought this fancy old house. All right, Notch, whatever. Look, I was using his real name, all right? Is that a problem with you?
His real name.
Well, anyway, Notch. He bought this crazy ass house that had a jelly bean room.
Stupid.
Would you not want a jelly bean room?
You're seriously asking me if I want a house with a jelly bean room?
Look, you like sweets, you like food.
Yeah, I want to eat them, not have them as fucking insulation in my room.
Yeah, but you can have your own jelly bean machines, all of them.
Want that?
Every flavor.
Jelly beans aren't the best food. I'm not
Ronald Reagan. Taco. You can have your own taco bar.
You really don't know how to sell money to Duke.
I know, I'm rubbish
Let me try this. Let me try this, Duke. Right, I'm just trying to paint a scenario where Duke could use money for good, right? So
for himself, no money for himself. Money for himself.
Right. Okay. So you get this 20 million, and you go, "I'll give it all the way to East Timor because I feel strongly about the conditions there, and I can improve it."
Yeah, they could do with some Nike trainers.
But, all right, don't react to him, Duke. But they haven't got the you don't trust them with it. You kind of like, maybe if I sort of set something up myself, I'll do a better job and I can control it the way I want. But to do that
shit.
But then you can quit your job and do just East
Timor
like shit.
I like my job.
But then you'd like this job, helping East Timor out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, helping everybody. Because what you've got to think about is that corrupt government there that's probably going to steal half of the money you're giving them.
Well, that's why I'm not giving it to the government. I'm giving it to Dr. Dan Murphy, who runs a clinic outside the government's control.
You see, you got to go over and oversee that shit. You know, you can't just trust any old person.
Oh, I trust Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan's been tirelessly working for people in Mozambique and East Timor for 30 years. And Soul Brother makes a very good point in the chat. There's a lot of people in the United States who could benefit from that money as well. You're right. So I would take half of it and fund Dr. Dan's clinic and forever. And then I would take the other half and try to revitalize, Detroit or something. Give Flint clean water. There's a good thing to do with $10 million. Give Flint, Michigan some clean goddamn water. Speaking of corrupt governments, Flint's problem is not that it doesn't have enough money. Flint's problem is that greedy scumbags decided that they wanted to give their friends in the business community more money, and so they built this stupid pipeline to get water out of the Flint River when they were doing just fine getting water out of the fucking Lake Michigan or whatever it was. So it's not a matter. We have this idea that money is all we need to solve all the problems in our society. That's not what we need. What we need is elevated consciousness. We need people to be smart and to not fall for every con artist.
Yeah, but what you've got to remember
build a
is
monorail to make your city happy.
Mono.
What you got to remember is though, money causes the problem though.
Yeah, so why do I want more of it then?
To solve the problem.
Contradiction. So
we done with this question?
One more thing, and then we'll move on. I promise to.
See, the poor person came here looking for discussion about video games.
I promise you this. But
you know, this video game discussion's good, but I wish I could hear an American yelling about the need to be
Flint, water,
realistic in our life.
I think the right thing to do is to give 10 million to East Timor, to Dr. Phil or whatever, and then you give it to the Flint people, right? And then just save like $500 of it and buy a PS4 for fuck's sake.
I have enough money to buy a PS4, and money is not the problem there. The problem is.
Okay, let's move on.
That's the thing. Here's the thing. I would use $10 million to hire some more teachers at my school so we could have some smaller goddamn classes and not have to teach 6 classes in one semester.
That is almost selfish enough for us to move on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is. That is. Yes. That would help you.
All right.
All right. Inadvertently, we got there in the end. Yeah. Right. I think it's time to do some shout-outs and get the hell out of here.
It's time for a shout-out. Hey!
So... we'll let Chinny do the honours as he's the one who's been up the longest and played loads of video games.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chinny.
It's going to be a long one because I'm going to individually
do it.
Shout out. Oh my God, my donations have gone up during the show.
See, people love you.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Don't want to stop giving you money.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
people.
This is, by the way, this is rich. Everybody, get more money for yourself. Get more money for yourself. We do this podcast every week for $0, and Chinny just spent 24 hours playing video games to benefit sick kids. So you got some nerve accusing me of being weird because I don't want more money when you just spent 24 hours of sleeplessness.
Yeah, but I want more money, and also
money.
what people don't know is I'm keeping all this donation.
Exactly.
Sucker. Thought I was gonna give it
to...
Okay, so in order of bidding, the donators are Duke Scath, Antonio, Wishy Washy, Daniel Fletcher, Jonathan Wilson, Westernator, Matt Weston from Matt Weston Reviews, Derek Signs, Declan McCluskey, Stephen Mill, The Humper, Guy, Robin, Stuart Fowler, The Likely Lad, M Power, Sean Thiel, Big Lewis, hang on, going to a second page. Chris MJW, Roberto, Gareth, Nathaniel and Keisha, Coop Zilla, Stilted Puffin, Damien Sayers, Really O'Reilly, Rob VTS, Baron Van Glower, Phil Olsen, Ian W99, Eamon, Robin Tate, Alex and Karen, David Smith, Matt Bond, Ange Hyde, Adamsk, and Richard Loons. Thank you so much to all the people that donated. So now the grand total that I've raised is $915 for
That's impressive.
Extra Life. So almost a grand. Of course, and I know we've banged on about Extra Life this episode, and I really, really appreciate everybody putting up with the fact that I'm banging on about it, but it's so important that we talk about it. I'm so grateful that people have donated for it, that it's only fair that I talk about it and thank them. Is that fair? I think it's fair.
Yeah,
so, totally fair.
My brother, my brother's first year of doing Extra Life, he set a goal of $100, and guess what? He smashed it. $439.91 and 91 cents. He's absolutely killed it, right? And he's done so well that he's going to do it again. So if you're sitting there, and of course there's other people in the VG Hub team that have done fantastically well. Gary and Greg always do great, but it's not always the amount. Martin Chesworth has raised 75, right? And
nice.
This is the thing, right? It all counts. And it doesn't matter what level you are, because you can always improve, you can always build on it. But the fact that you've done it means that you've added value to the overall goal, which is to help kids get better and help sick kids
Right.
enjoy their time at hospital.
Hooray!
Right. So that's the overall goal. So it doesn't matter what level you're at. Look, not all of you are rich and famous, and just everybody wants to like touch you like me, right? I get that, right? That's understandable, right? And you're on a different level when you Gary and Greg. You know what I mean? Like you can't even get in the same room as those sexy guys. But it doesn't matter. Whatever level you're at, whatever reach you've got, you should be doing it, or at least taking part in it. So I want to thank everybody.
Thank God for YouTube, because they gave us this clip as soon as we said it.
Yes, I saw the Terrence and Phillip movie. Who wants to touch me? I said, who wants to fucking touch me?
Correct. So
That's Chinny.
So that's right. So it's just about spreading the love, making sure that you give back, and that's the way we give back. So if you can, like I said, if you can turn what you love into something positive, then this is what it's all about. So thank you to the whole VG Hub crew for doing the 24 hours. It's very, very difficult to do. People kind of downplay the difficulty of it, right? But it's really, really difficult to do. So everybody that's done it.
Just because a lot of people do it doesn't make it easy.
No. And I want to thank everybody that came in, watched, retweeted on Twitter and Instagram and bigged me up and all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much. Thanks to the rest of the VG Hub crew. Thanks to the people that came to my house physically and helped me just get through it. Thanks to my brother for doing it with me this year. That was so nice to do it with my brother, and all the love that people share for my brother now, because he's part of this gaming stupid hobby thing that I have now, and he's kind of put his whole heart into it, and he's going to be guesting on the Entertain Nerds this week, I think, and he's doing all sorts of stuff, right? So he's doing great. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone. Thanks to my darling wife for doing all the background stuff. She's the unsung hero in my part of the operation. And big up to the Overseas Connection, who are not only a big part of Extra Life, but they're also celebrating their 500th episode, which is why I had to exit this week and very, very briefly make an appearance on there. So big up to them on such an achievement, and also just generally they do such a good job on raising money for Extra Life, and they really sort of get behind it. So they're a big driving force behind the whole sort of team. That's it, really. I'm not going to ramble on too. I know I've talked about it a lot, but it's a big deal. So we really appreciate it. Yes, and I promise I'll get back on Red Dead 2 next week and get that done. We're going to do a spoiler show on Red Dead 2. When? I don't know, but we will do one.
I'm gonna be back on that tomorrow, so I'm gonna try and put some time in this week in Red Dead.
I'm going to be doing more on the YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing some highlights of the Extra Life stream. So throughout Extra Life, I was clipping basically like some funny moments. So check out the YouTube channel because I'll be doing some highlights. Go into our Instagram because sometimes I post them as well. And also, the EGX videos are getting done. They're almost finished. Would you believe?
Oh,
I know. So if I can do them this side of Christmas, then I'll be a happy
bunny. That is weird. What the hell?
That is weird. So there's some activity going on our YouTube channel. So I really appreciate it. I think that with the streaming and stuff, like I'm still going to be doing some streaming, but I'll probably stick to maybe once every Thursday or something like that for now. Yeah, and yeah.
Talking of streaming, we need to get back on Overcooked 2 as a
I think that would be a good idea. I think maybe next Thursday we could do that.
Yeah, we need to look at that.
Next Thursday I have parent-teacher conferences. Sorry.
Look, that's just ridiculous.
Maybe next Wednesday we can do that.
It's part of my job.
It's just ridiculous.
Next Wednesday?
I bring my PC to school and like.
Look, do you know what? If you had $10 million, you wouldn't have to do it.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah.
This coming Wednesday?
Yeah.
Maybe. Let me look at my schedule. Meanwhile, someone else should do a shout out.
All right,
yeah, I'll do a shout out. I'm going to shout out, obviously, Chinner and Chinny for doing such an amazing thing. All the people who turned up at his house and his gaff, and the Blue Man especially, because that was just ridiculous.
Amazing.
Obviously, Tara again for everything that she did in the background, making sure you were well fed and watered. Obviously, my girlfriend Velda, for being there.
Yep.
The lovely Velda. Oh, she's lovely. Who else can I shout out? Lewis, of course, for sending us an email every week and giving us some questions to talk about. Derek for all the work he does for the show, with his speak pipes and all this stuff that he sends in. And effort.
By the way, Derek was doing such a great job during the stream. He was asking questions, like he was trying to generate some conversation because he knew that we were sort of, you know,
lagging
a little bit. So he was like talking about what accent would you pick if you could pick an accent. So thank you so much to Derek as well. And just generally, people came in and just really helped a lot. So that means a lot. But Derek, I remember he was one of the standouts to always help.
You know, and like always, and I know we say this every year when we go to EGX and we do stuff, but I just think it's great how many friendships and, you know, acquaintances and people that we've met just from doing this.
Amazing.
You know, genuinely nice people.
All over the world.
All over the world.
Fantastic.
So, yeah. And that's me. I guess shout out to all the genuinely nice people we've ever met.
Yeah. And I will shout out Antonio because we're going to play some Rocket League soon. And I dipped into his stream a little bit. I dipped into Amras. I will shout him out. We played some Rocket League on his, stream for Extra Life. And shout out to Pete and Chinny and Tara and everybody and the Blue Man for having a very entertaining stream over there. I will shout out, who else? The Duchess, because she's rocks. And I'll shout out my dog, even though he refuses to go down the back stairs these days. He's getting old. His legs are not as strong as they once was. Anyway, we went on a little ramp, but he won't use it. So we just take him around the back way instead of going. Because the stairs at the back of our house are just kind of steep and there's a sudden turn. So that's the problem. Whatever.
How old is he?
11, I think.
Wow, that's old in human years.
He's getting up there in dog years, yeah.
Yeah,
so whatever. He's a good dog, and he still loves to run around the dog park. So whatever.
Bless him.
And thanks to everybody listening, and Soul Brother in the chat, and Desane, Derek Sains, and Bongo, and Chenarl.
Oh yeah, we should do a massive shout out to the OC Connection, the 500 shows.
OC Connection.
Yeah, 500, baby. Well
You're
done.
1,000 shows.
I know, another milestone is reached.
I never talked about the retro console that I auctioned off.
Yeah,
we did. We mentioned that.
Oh, did I? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
Yeah,
we
you
raised
did.
and
Sorry.
Bongo.
Right.
You did. Sorry.
I did. You see, you're tired. We'll let you off
I know.
'cause
Yeah,
you're
but Armar was a big part of that. Armar Parvez, he actually he bought all the Raspberry Pi and he put it all together. He burnt the image on there.
Oh, bless him.
I know. He's an absolute legend. And when you switch it on, the picture of you reacting to Duke, to you meeting Duke for the first time, is what comes on.
Really? That's
Yeah.
amazing. I need to meet Armar.
Yeah.
We're so close to meeting and we never do.
Armar's a legend, right? And I
know.
absolutely love it. And he's even like texting my brother now, and my brother's been messaging him saying, "Oh, I want one of these Raspberry Pis." Like, honestly, these Raspberry Pis are amazing, right? Okay,
Yeah.
like,
Retro Pi.
Yeah, all these like all the games on it don't run perfectly well, but like some of them run really well, some of them are better than others. But Armar's going to update it, he said, and he's going to like, you know, make sure that it's on the ball. So next year I might do it again because it went so well. So but if you want to sort of buy one for yourself, right? Just talk to Armar because I'm sure he would do it. And I don't want to put him in the shit and make him do loads of work, but I'm sure he's such a nice guy. I'm sure he'll at least put you in the right direction anyway. So thank you so much to Armar. There's just so many people that have helped, not only me, but everybody that did Extra Life. It's very difficult to remember everyone. You know, Antonio did Extra Life on his 21st birthday, right?
Yeah, happy birthday!
And I watched the very...
Oh my God, how is Antonio 21?
I know, but I woke up when I woke up
Oh
from
my
my
God.
Extra Life stream. When I woke up from my
He was
sleep,
just guzzling booze. He was
yeah. When I woke up after I'd sort of recovered, one of the first things I did was check out Antonio's sort of Twitch channel just to see. I wasn't live, but I just wanted to see some of his stream just to sort of, because I felt like I hadn't really, because he kept on popping into mine, but I hadn't really sort of had a chance to look at his. So I had to look at his, and it's just really funny when you skip ahead and you see his room get dark, and then light. It's really interesting. So he's done fantastically well. So well done to Antonio as well.
Yeah.
There you go. Blimey,
There you go.
out.
Done.
Is that it? We're done?
I think so. I think so.
Have you been due? You've been, haven't you? Yeah, we're done.
The end of the show. You fucking pricks. Turn the podcast off. Oh, wait, you don't need to do that because it'll turn off when it ends. Why don't you listen to another podcast, you ungrateful fuck? So there you go.
Won't you?
What else did you want to discuss?
There you go. Another
There you
show.
go. Another show in the go.
In the bag.
How do you flow? Joe Blow.
Low. Joe Low.
Blow
Low.
like pop and glow.
There you go. Whatever. I think that's enough of that shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I think we're done.
End of show.
Yeah, yeah.